You know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. Then tell me, Maria, why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul. I feel her, I see her, the sun caught in her raven hair is blazing in me out of all control. Like fire, hellfire, this fire in my skin, this burning desire is turning me to
Hey, you know what though? That was kind of, I mean, I'm a history guy, so that's kind of what it was like back then. When you had, if they had one problem girl, they were just like, oh, we got to kill her. She's a devil.
What up?
And
Diamond
like-
Vibes. Happy Memorial Day with John
Oh,
Poe.
it is Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Henry
it is.
Panic. We got Sergio. And we have a special guest, Justin.
Justin.
Lighting
be here.
extraordinaire. I don't know. What would your title be? Just lighting technician?
Well, I own a production company. So, like, back in the day, I started in lighting, but now we pretty much do everything: lighting, audio, projection, video, LED installs. I mean, you name it. We pretty much do it. If it involves a show and it's not the artist, that's
Wow.
us.
So you're jack of all trades now. What do you have, a studio?
We have, like, a warehouse.
It's a freaking warehouse.
Yeah,
Can
so
we throw
like,
a rave in
we'll go
there?
over that's the goal. I mean, hell, I do that probably weekly. Pull out some lasers and some lighting, and I'll do testing and write shows for it, for whatever, you know, corporate events that we have coming up.
No. So you're pretty much currently out of work, right? With the disease, the COVID-19 going on.
So with COVID, it shut down basically all the events. So like the event side of our company, it's like dead right now because obviously there's nothing going on. No one's having anything. But the install side of it actually is picked up because of the nightclubs that are wanting to reopen soon. They want to, you know, open with a bang. So like they want to add stuff into their clubs to try to make it better than when they closed.
So you're getting that kind of what would they call that? Like revamping? You
Yeah.
know? People
Yeah,
want
it's
to
like
upgrade.
Exactly.
I wonder how Tanger is going to be after all this.
I don't know.
They just opened and then all this shit hit.
Yeah, they were
It's
open
like-
for like a whole solid 2.5 months.
They'll probably be the same. I mean, they brought in their own tech crew when they came in. They brought in their guys from like Vegas or whoever
Yeah.
when they did their own design. So I would imagine they're not going to be bringing their own guys back out here to add things. Like they're just
Especially if
probably
it was
not going to
brand
take
new.
that kind of cost. Yeah.
Right. So then they would call companies like you.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Well.
Tanger is one of the few in Ybor that I've never worked with. I knew that they had their own guys from Vegas, so I didn't even, you know, bother going out of my way to reach out and try and meet these guys.
So have you done like Ritz, Crowbar, all that as well?
Crowbar, no. Ritz, I've done some work with. Honeypot, Southern Nights. I handled Liquid up until the day it closed. I think those are the main ones for Ybor.
Are you still working on Honeypot?
Not really as much. I
No.
used to do Honeypot, like I was there like weekly,
Right.
And then now there's a guy that they have that actually runs the lighting for the nightclub stuff, and then
Okay.
they bring me in for like special events. So like I'll bring like lasers in, or when they want to do something fun, or they want to do like a big event, then I actually come in and bring in gear.
Cool. So you're
That
more outside of the lighting. You're doing more on just your production company.
Yeah. So like we do pretty much anything for events. Instead of like before, you know, I'd get hired on from a production company to come into a private event or you know some kind of runway show, and they'd pay me X amount to just build lighting scenes for it and create the lighting.
Okay.
But now it's more of they're going to call and they're going to be like, hey, we need all this lighting. We need, you know, trussing. We need, you know, all the different things that we'd be usually bringing from other companies. Now we provide.
Speaking of which, if any listener out there has been to the Pegasus, this man created the lighting for it. He
Yep.
installed it. Looks pretty good in there. I wish she would use more of the cryo cannons more than she does, but
I mean, well, they burn through them pretty quickly, don't they?
Yeah, cryo cannon typically she has 2 cannons. She'll probably go through a tank in like 45 to 60 seconds. And,
Wow.
and I don't think she ever has more than one on at a time.
Right.
So unless
Damn,
you
it
actually have
burns
someone go
that
back
much?
there. Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they don't last long. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, you
then-
do it sparingly because if not, you're going to have someone back there mid-show
Well, you can only
changing out tanks.
you can only hold it for like 3 seconds at a time, right? Otherwise, it'll freeze up.
That's
Right.
the idea. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't want to go for more than like 3 or so seconds on a blast because it'll start to freeze the solenoids, and over time that can like damage the units.
Well, just
I didn't know they
feel
went
like every
through
time
that
I've seen
quick.
it at a club, it's like a quick shh, shh.
Yeah,
And
it's
I tell you,
an
that's why.
effect. Like
Yeah.
it can really easily be overdone,
Mm-hmm.
and so you kind of want to use it sparingly. You want to use it at like the
Once,
people's
twice
best
a night.
song. You want to
Yeah.
use it on the peak of it, right at that drop.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's when you're going to drive your crowd crazy.
Yeah, I've only seen it used. I think most places once a night, other places twice,
Yeah.
and then it's like one final, the fucking goodbye song, and then
How much are them tanks? What do they cost?
They're not that bad. I think she's getting them somewhere around like $27 to $30.
Okay,
They're
so you're
typically
burning.
not that bad, but like Shepherds, we run through 12 tanks in a night.
Oh shit.
I mean, we have
where's this at?
Shepherds.
Oh yeah.
Back when we used to do the Shepherds
Clearwater?
events, that was we'd go through like tons of tanks.
You ever been to Shepherds, bro? Clearwater Beach?
It's the move on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Who used to pop those a lot? Oh, what was it? The one with the spinning floor, amphitheater.
Amphitheater.
They used to pop those things all the
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, and
they
they,
had the
heat
big
too.
cannons.
Yeah.
They would freeze you, then they would heat you.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, like a heater. It was pretty cool. So we have a thing we do every week on the show. We do an alcohol run, and if Sergio can beat his time, he gets a little incentive.
Have we researched when the
Yeah, we
last
don't-
time was?
I don't know.
We have
go
not.
back and
I
watch
want
it
to say it
real
was.
quick.
I want to say it was 13 minutes.
Yeah, it
and
was
4
like 13
seconds.
something.
So
Well, I'll just call it 13 because
yeah,
otherwise
I
I don't
want
know.
to
how
just call it 13 on this one. And
Yeah.
last week we were able to talk and hear you.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. It's all set up.
So we can talk because Henry and I were talking about that on the way here. I'm feeling some White Claws, man. You feeling some White Claws or some Truly?
I'm good for whatever.
Ecclesias.
Yeah. What do you like? What flavor? You have a certain flavor you like?
Honestly, I don't. I smoke way more than I drink.
Yeah. So any flavor?
Most of the time that I'm drinking, it's just whatever an artist has, and they're like, this is what we have for VIP. We have this bottle, and I'm like, okay, I'll
Do
drink
you-
just about anything.
Do you like the Trulies and White Claws? I mean, I'm sure you've had them.
Yeah, I don't think I've tried the Trulies.
Yeah, I actually like the Trulies better, to be honest.
Are they? I'm up to try one.
It
Whatever flavor you
tastes-
guys think is good.
It all tastes like
Get,
liquid pussy.
Just get 2
Oh.
instead of 3. Just
all of it.
Well, that might be why I didn't care for
flavor
it.
you want. Cool.
Explains me very much why he drinks it all the time.
What?
Makes
It's
sense.
a basic
Yeah,
white girl
yeah.
drink, man. You know what's wrong with that?
Oh, at Park and Rec, that's like the number one thing that they go through. I mean, just cases and cases and cases of it.
I had to
Because
stop.
all the white girls there, that's
Yeah.
that's all they want.
I had to stop drinking them for a little while there because they were giving me heartburn. Or I don't drink them as much. I'll drink them on the show.
Right.
But
restaurant Park and Rec?
Park and Rec Tampa.
Yeah.
So we did Park and Rec Tampa. That was
Channel
that was
side, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of our most recent endeavors.
Yeah, I like that place.
It's right down the street from me, and I've never been there.
Really?
Really?
Park and Rec?
I feel
LED wall, full on lighting, cryo system.
Nah, I went to the
It's
what's
probably like
where's that?
50
In Channelside?
televisions. Yeah.
Dude,
Park
It's like
and Rec.
50 TVs
It's like a
throughout the
10-minute walk.
building.
Really?
They have
Yeah.
Are they open now currently? I mean, are they
yeah.
closed with the
no,
COVID?
No, they're open.
Oh,
Yeah, they
'cause
reopened 'cause they serve food.
Ah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm thinking of the place downtown. That's the '80s place.
Oh, I got to send you to Pegasus too.
But
That's where I'm going.
what's
to
the
Pegasus.
deal with Parks and Rec? Like, what's their?
So
Is that the
they're-
place? They had like the golf, the real intricate golf thing. Is that the place that has it?
I don't think so. So
Yeah.
like this is like their motto is like youth has no age. They're like have a arcade on the inside that's more like the old school games.
Okay.
They outside
check
they have
this
like
shit out.
physical stuff. So they have like beer pong, but in like trash cans.
What?
So they have like 6 trash cans set up, and you're from probably 15, 20 feet away. You're trying to you're
Yeah.
playing pong out of it though. I mean,
Yeah, it's
it's a lot of fun.
It's literally 10 minutes.
We have to check this shit out, man.
It's like I
It's worth a
What,
trip.
what kind of crowd? Like hipster?
No, it's
imagine.
It's like-
Ritzy.
it's ritzy. It's like
Yeah.
the
This is
I would say
big money part of Tampa, man.
a little bit older than most of the Ybor nightclubs. Like when people don't feel like just being, ruined in one of the really packed out Ybor nightclubs, then they kind of like upgrade themselves and they go over there, and it's more of like an adult experience. It's more chill.
When
Like
you-
there's a
We
lounge
have
in
to
the
check this shit
back.
out,
It's
man.
laid back.
When you don't want to get fucking totally tanked and throw up and start crying on 7th,
Exactly.
you go to Park and Rec.
And then you can do it on Channel Side instead.
Yeah.
Fucking
You
A.
can be in Water Street and do it and feel fancy.
I'm all about it.
They I think the Tower condos are right above it.
Yep.
I was gonna move
Okay.
there.
I know where that. Yeah, I know where that's at.
They're
so
they're
pissed
interesting.
I was gonna move in them, man. They had a unit right on the floor. It was perfect.
So, big shout out to Heather, our number one fan.
Yo, Heather.
Dirty D,
Hey, Dan.
Garrett, Jed Brown. What's up? You know Jed Brown from Shepherd's? A guy named Jed Brown. He DJ'd there on Sundays, I believe. Sundays, am I right, Jed? I don't know his DJ name, but
From the name, I
No.
couldn't say that I know him, but I mean, if he did like a Sunday there in the last 2 or 3 years, I've probably met him.
I want to say he did. It's either, yeah, I think maybe once a month or so. I'm not really sure.
We probably met.
Yeah. Jed, you know Justin?
So, with your work, man. So, one of the biggest things that I wanted to get out of you while you were here.
Yeah.
I think that lighting, first, they say when you're touring, like, order of importance outside of the band is sound, lighting, photo, and video, right? So, you're second in command, and a lot of guys who do sound, they also learn how to do lights because why not learn both, right? Especially in rock and in metal where, your tour manager is your sound guy and your lighting director, and he does them both at the same time, or him and a tech do them at the same time kind of thing. So,
Gotcha. Jed.
what's something that bands can do on their own without having to need a lighting tech? Like, is it just a matter of build a box and put a light in there and then set it up to be triggered when you need it on and when you don't? Or
So if you wanted to have like a light show for a band or something, and you didn't want to have a actual lighting person on the tour, I mean, one of the main things that you can do is you can do what we call time coding the show. Essentially, you take every track that band is going to play, and we load it in. We take a digital version of it. Basically, it would just sound like static to anyone who actually heard it. But the computers understand it, and it allows the computers to know exactly where in the song it is. And so you can build a full light show based on that will go exact to your music. So when they hit play on that backtrack or they hit the first drum downbeat, it automatically
Gotcha.
starts going through it, and it links up so that all the lights are spot on, all the effects are spot on.
that's what I was going to say. It would have to link up with your backing tracks, or it would have to be timed.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't run into that many people that do everything like that, though. So like a lot of tours, like, there's usually not as often as there an audio guy on a lot of like the smaller tours, like, the EDM artists that go around.
Right.
Typically, like, their tour manager would be more like the audio. But a lot of them will either, they want nothing to do with lighting, they want you to run everything, you just handle it, or they'll bring a lighting guy in and that person plugs in your system and they just take over the whole thing. So most of the time, I haven't met very many tour managers that were like up on lighting. A lot of them, they know what a cryo is, and they want to stand behind you, and they're like, "What button is cryo?" And then whenever they feel like they want to hit, they just reach over you and
Right.
press it, and you just kind of give them a look like, I got this. It's okay. You don't have to stand over my shoulder.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, they've probably been at a lot of venues where the person was shit, and so they're used to having to babysit and make sure that they're watching to make sure that show is perfect.
One of the things, and a little off topic, but one of the things I am so for across the entire industry is like a standard. There needs to be an audio standard for live and studio. There needs to be a standard for lighting. And you should have some kind of certification so you can show, hey, I at least know what I'm talking about.
That's fair.
I think that, and
You
this
ready
way,
to start this?
All right, you ready?
All right.
You got a
Time?
timer?
Got a time?
You got a timer?
All right, we're going to just set it at 13, see if you can beat 13.
See if I can be 13.
And he's going to the Pegasus Liquor Store. Big shout out to Julie over there. support small businesses
There you go.
like the liquor store.
What's your company called? But Perfect Events, is that
Perfect events. Yep.
All right.
ready?
And
Hold up. Keys in hand. Let's go.
you're off.
He's off. But yeah, I feel like if
Sergio is on his way right now, Jeanette.
if we had that kind of standard, then I feel like, you know, guys like you who, you know, you've been working in the field for a while, and then even guys like you as well.
Yeah.
You know, you guys can get your certification, and this way, anyone who doesn't have it, you're not even looked at as serious. It's like a mechanic who doesn't have their basic, you know, whatever mechanic needs.
Certification is a real thing in the industry. But the problem with certification is it's based on what you're running. So for me, I run Grand MA. Grand MA is one of the top in the industry, right there next to Hog, which I guess would be like where those two are the ones that kind of butt heads. But if you go to any major tour, they're running one of those two, and usually multiple of them. They'll have like 3 Grand MAs lined up. One's running like the LED wall, and another one's actually running like stage lighting, and one's on effects. But they have a certification for that. They have a certification that, like, say, if you want to be certified in Grand MA, you can do that. But there's so many different systems out there that, you know, there's hundreds of different programs and things that you can learn that you can go out of your way, that it becomes difficult because, say, I'm not certified in this, but I'm proficient in like 20 different programs. For the most part, I can go into almost any venue in Tampa and run whatever light system they have. But I wouldn't have a certification in every one of those light systems.
Right.
That would get really pricey. Like Grand MA is, I want to say like $500 for like the level 1 certification.
Wow.
And they have like 3 or 4 of them. So, you know, you put a lot of money into it just for a piece of paper to tell people that you're good, when in reality, if you're good at what you do, your name carries that weight. I mean, people will know what you do, and people have seen your shows. People will come to you for how good you are, regardless of if you have a piece of paper that tells them that you know
Right.
you're good at something.
I
Well-
always say a certification or a degree it's just a piece of paper. It's really all about what you can do. You know.
Yeah, but you got to look at it even on the venue end as well. Julie doesn't want anyone touching that system who isn't going to be.
For good reason.
Yeah. So
And Sergio, if you're listening right now, bro, we don't have video on you. There's no video. I don't know if you can hear us. Yeah, there's no video. It's still it's showing it's showing your seat still.
How about now?
Nothing yet. I'm still showing your seat.
There's definitely a delay though on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, we'll give it a minute. I mean, you know, there's that delay.
Yeah, true. No, I'm definitely driving and holding it.
But yeah, no, and for situations like Julie, I think that it's good because you don't want someone coming in touching her shit who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Not to speak evil of anybody, because I love Julie, but one of the mistakes Julie would make is she would take anyone that said that they knew what they were doing and allow them to touch the gear, and where a certification might come in handy, like, you know, a person that has an IT certification doesn't mean that they're good on everything that's internet based. You know, their certification might have been for something specific.
Right.
So like there was an issue where eventually I had stopped coming in because I wasn't able to charge for it anymore. But it would be something like the video system goes down. Well, I'd get there and the whole thing would have been rewired. All the outs are now in inputs and ins are in outs. Someone had literally unplugged everything and then plugged them all back into the incorrect cable. So obviously I know somebody touched it when I get there because, you know, that's the issue. The issue is somebody who didn't know what they were doing touched it, and now the whole thing is down. But at the point when I would come in, like, and I'd fix it, you can only do it so many times and expect to get paid on it when it wasn't happening. So I eventually just had to kind of step back on that.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the cost for a lighting guy? I mean, do you guys, like, is it per... you're getting Truly or White Claw, just get 2 6-packs or whatever they come in. I think they come in 6 or 8.
Or GLC?
No.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we can hear you, though. But we'll pause. We'll pause while he's in the store.
I'll make fun of Jeanette while you're in there.
Hey, Jeanette. I don't love you, Jeanette.
They want 2 6-packs, what flavor?
Well, it's
Jeanette.
How do they come? 6 or 8?
They're 6-packs, right? Yeah, 6-packs.
So we have the Truly, we have
They got that nasty flavor of Truly.
raspberry.
Oh, I love Jeanette. I haven't seen Jeanette in forever.
Say hi to Justin, Jeanette. The lighting guy, Justin. He's on the show.
It's okay. She won't remember me by name. It's been way too long. But I definitely remember her.
Black cherry, tangerine, watermelon.
Get whatever flavor you want.
So there's one watermelon left. I got the tangerine, the lemon, and a black cherry. I have made.
Okay, get a black cherry and a watermelon.
So,
Boom.
well, no, I can't get 6-pack.
They're not 6-packs?
No, the watermelon one's not. The black cherry is.
All right, get a 6-pack of black cherry, and then just do a variety of the other 6. Thank you.
I don't know if he's going to beat 13 minutes.
Yeah. You're at 5 minutes, 23 seconds right now. And he's at the Pegasus Liquor Store, which is located on Florida Avenue. 14811 North Florida Avenue.
Or found on Uber Eats.
Yeah. You can actually order alcohol off Uber Eats from the Pegasus.
Have either of you done that yet?
I haven't tried it, no.
I haven't.
How's it work? Like the person just checks their ID, I guess?
Yeah, they have to check your ID. Yeah. That's definitely a thing.
I guess it keeps the 14-year-olds from ordering liquor delivered.
Yeah, they definitely. I'm sure some drivers out there don't. I'm sure they just go here, fuck it. But by law, yeah, they're supposed to check the ID.
On top of that, how does what makes a driver qualified to check an ID?
That's a good
Really,
question.
if that
Maybe
driver,
they have to take a picture of it. There might be something in the app that they have to take a photo of the ID to show that they saw it, and maybe it scans it and it just sees the...
that's a good idea.
Maybe
the
Julie
age.
would know. I have to ask Julie that. I don't know if Julie's still tuning in right now to the show, but she was in for a minute.
I don't know, man. I've been doing good for the most part with the completely cutting back on Uber Eats. It's pretty nice. Feeling that nice change in my pocket.
Extra money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
expensive.
I had like a fucking problem with it, man.
Yeah, you did.
I did when it first came out. I was
Yeah.
using it constantly, and it was so easy to not have to go to places.
Yeah.
But they were constantly fucking up my food. They were constantly. I was getting cold food.
Yeah.
I was getting the wrong food.
Yeah.
And at the point when you're asking for a refund on like every order, it either just looks like you're just a piece of shit, and I just stopped wanting to use it. It made me feel like I was a problem trying to just get food.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, this isn't the move anymore. They gotta step their game up a little bit.
Yeah, it's just too convenient. And then you start looking at how much you're actually spending, and it's like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was crazy.
7 minutes, 26 seconds, Serge.
Oh my god, I've been sitting here for 3 minutes while I was trying to figure out the register.
Should have pre-ordered it.
See, this is how I know. Like, I knew. I was like, if Jeanette's working, there's no way. She is the slowest fuck in the world. There's no way that Jeanette will do that quick.
You got to call ahead. Have it waiting for you.
Oh, shit.
I'm faster than you, dick.
Anyways, yeah, we got time.
8
You
minutes.
are going to lose your incentive.
Right, 8
You're
minutes.
What is the incentive?
I give him cash,
Oh,
usually.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Just throw dollar bills at Sergio.
Sounds like a party.
It does. So, but yeah, back to the like what can break it down though? Like, how does a band or how does even
What is that total?
14, and well, it's 26, and you get 14 back.
I'll give her $4.
wow?
No, $4.
Okay, he has to.
Hey, wait a second. Is Amber still there?
Yes, please.
That's kind of rude. You're only tipping me $4 for
It happens. I'm on a budget. I'm on a budget this week.
Alright. I'm gonna have to speed now.
All right, 9 minutes.
Jesus. Okay, I got 4 minutes. That's not gonna happen.
So, and yeah, all right. So EDM guys, rappers, bands, everyone can do it. But what is the actual process of like setting up a light show, or even if they're working off of like the MIDI system that you were telling me about, and they have like
Triggers.
Yeah, just some way to kick it off. Like, how do
So-
they actually do that?
With triggers, we call it busking, and it's basically like you're running the show by hand. It's how I prefer to do 99% of the shows. Like, it doesn't matter who comes in. I always prefer to run it by hand because I'm going to be listening to the music, I'm going to be following the mood, I'm following the DJ, and making sure that the show looks spot on. Like, that's the job of the lighting person, is they're making sure that everything that DJ does, or the band or rapper or whatever, that you're following what they want your audience to experience.
Is it almost by instinct?
It really is. It comes down and there are some DJs I've worked with who will go out of their way to trick me, and they think it's hilarious.
Right.
Like, I'm usually, like, especially with Shepherds, I'm standing about 3 feet away from them, and we'll be, like, vibing and going back and forth, and they'll just, like...
Fake a drop?
Right, they'll fake a drop, or they'll do something like that, so they'll see me react, and then they'll just, like, point, and, like, they'll laugh, be like, I got you. Be like, you motherfucker, you're right. You made your own show look a little bit backwards because you tricked your light guy. Congratulations.
Are you familiar with their lighting, and they're a group as well, the Laser Assassins?
Very familiar.
Yeah, Nerd Rage and all them guys.
Good guys.
Yeah, definitely good guys. Now, I'm sure they're a competition to you, right? And what you do, or no?
I wouldn't call them competition, and Brooks may argue that. The only reason they're not really competition to me, well, we've discussed it a few times, is because we do everything. Like, we do everything under the sun tech-wise, whereas they're set on lasers and cryo.
Right.
So, you know, if it's in the area and it's lasers and cryo, we offer the same price for the most part. You know, he might offer a better deal depending on who he really wants to bring in for the, you know, just to be able to say he did that show.
Right.
But, you know, we run similar gear. Obviously, he has a lot more of it, being that he just does lasers for the most part.
So he's a lot more lasers, but not more lighting than you.
Exactly. He is, you know, they're going to be very limited in terms of, like, other things. So where lasers, you know, he's got 30 watt and, like, up, we just didn't really ever have the need for it. Anything over 6 watt is rather unnecessary for us because we're not doing just main laser shows. If I need them, then I would just sub-rent them from him. Mm-hmm. You know, I can always give him a call and be like, hey, you know, we need an extra set of lasers for the show we're doing. And a lot of people in this industry, that's what they do. Like, you know, they have specialties, and they can call and get additional things from others.
Now, are you the sole owner, or you have business partners?
I have a business partner.
Okay.
So it's me and one partner.
And how long has this company's been around?
In this incarnation, I would say it's been 3 years, 4 years.
Okay. And they can find you at perfectevents.com?
.tech.
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 I like that.
That was
clever.
The goal.
Yeah.
I like that.
When we saw it available, that was the move.
Holy shit!
12:32.
Yes! By 30
Damn,
seconds.
he did it. He beat it. I don't know how you did it.
How's he not sure? Oh!
What'd you do?
I never hit. That was my fault. I never hit this button.
There he is. There it is. He shows you in the.
So sorry, guys.
He did beat his time. That is true.
To answer a question you asked earlier,
Cost
about
of-
what it typically costs to bring in a lighting guy, and that rate definitely is different based on experience. If I put like one of my lighting guys in a venue, typically that's going to be about $300 a night.
Okay.
A night?
And yeah,
Is that how it works? So as opposed to like an hour? Or...
So you get to keep the other 10. That's $20 a surge for beating the
Yeah!
time.
it can break down hourly, or it can break down per night. A lot of times, you know, if it is hourly, it's going to be, you know, a minimum of X amount of hours. You're going to say, you know, we have 6 to 8 hours that it's got to be, or you just charge them a day rate. And so, like, I'll go as low as, you know, if I really want to work with a client, I'll go down to like $550 for a day rate. But most of the time, it's sitting somewhere between like $750 and $1,000 for a day rate.
That's going to be hard to do.
And that's like, you know, if I'm bringing in my gear, you know, I'm bringing in my own console and whatnot. I'm programming a show for them. I'm building it out. That's going to be a little bit more common.
Well,
I got one.
yeah, I know.
Justin,
I looked
pick your
at.
flavor, whatever you would like, sir. Black cherry or one of these guys. We got mangoes, tangerine.
I cannot believe I forgot to hit the button to show it on the screen.
Which one's good?
Black cherry's good.
I like black cherry. I like mango too, though. But mango's got a certain taste to it. I never had tangerine. I don't know how that is. But black cherry's good.
All right, we'll try that.
So that, I mean, $300 to pay a light guy for a place like the Pegasus wouldn't be cost effective for the promoter.
so
what kind of occupancy are we talking? What's the minimum?
So I almost always will cut a deal with my venues. I think even for Pegasus, when we were running lighting over there, I want to say we only charged them like $100 a night.
Okay.
You know, we really would, like, if it's a venue that I designed that becomes one of my babies, I will work with that client any way that they need to try to make sure that they succeed.
Yeah, I could see $300 for like the Ritz, or I
Right.
could see $300 for the Honey Pot. You know, a venue of that size, Orpheum.
Well, he's saying it's $300 for him to come in, and if it's like a place like Pegasus. But if he's coming in and you're setting up all your equipment, and
Right.
That's-
If
it's
I'm
even
coming
more.
in with a
Yeah.
console and I'm programming a show, it's going to be more in like the $750 to $1,000 range.
now, if I wanted to hire Perfect Events to do lighting and sound, could I?
Yeah, of
Do you,
course.
you have a sound tech as well?
Yeah.
Or?
We have a full crew of pretty much with video techs, laser techs, you name it.
So you guys
There's
are a
somebody for it.
one-stop shop then for.
Oh, that's the idea.
Well, that's awesome, man.
So
That's smart.
you're subcontracting these guys out pretty much.
For the most part, yeah. There's a couple guys that I'll keep completely in house, and you know they were on my installs. They're on my warehousing work. You know, guys that just pretty much help me with everything. And then there's one, like if I need something specific and I don't have an additional light tech, I may bring in somebody just assist on a show, and they're going to be a runner, or they're going to be the programmer while I'm trying to direct.
What's the biggest show you ever did?
That's a tricky question. So, like, I've gotten to work on some really cool stages with some really amazing artists, and it really depends what you consider the biggest. So, like, I've had the pleasure of helping out on a Broadway stage, and for someone in theater, they would say, I mean, that's the pinnacle. That's like the peak. That's the best of the best.
Was it like down here though, or was it?
No, that was actually in New York.
Oh wow!
I was-
so you
I
were
was
on
on
Broadway.
Broadway.
On
Yeah.
Broadway.
Oh wow!
And so that was an amazing experience. And then it goes down to I did 2 or 3 years worth for Shepherds,
Okay.
and they bring in some amazing acts. I ended up writing down a list of a bunch of people that I'd worked with, just so if you ask that question, I could tell you some of my favorites.
Yeah.
There you go. Name drop.
Yeah. What's the biggest artist you worked with?
There's a handful. Like
Yeah.
for the biggest events that they bring in.
Is this place like an EDM place, or is it?
Yeah,
It's a
so
beach bar.
it's Beach House Sundays is what they call it.
But they had
and it-
Vanilla Ice there. They
Yeah,
had,
that was one of the shows we
They've
did.
had all types of.
Wait,
Vanilla Ice
Recently, you had Vanilla Ice?
was last year.
I think he comes every year.
Yeah, last
Okay,
year.
I
Vanilla
wanna see
Ice
him.
was one of my favorites. Like I mean, you guys say we never talk poorly of anybody. I expected him to be a dick.
And he wasn't.
I did. I expected I'd heard like horror stories of what he used to be like, and I expected him to just kind of be rude, because there's always a couple
Right.
artists that are like that per year. And he was honestly one of the nicest guys that I had the pleasure of working with. I mean, like he had his own person. They asked for a handful of small requirements, like they wanted his own cryo button. We're happy to build that out for him. And then, but coming in, like he mid-show, like came back and like was like hugging me on stage and like hitting buttons and playing around and like singing back and forth kind of thing. And he was just really fun to interact with. His stage persona is, it's up there. And even like coming down to inviting me to come have lunch with them.
Oh,
I mean, there's
shit.
not many artists that will come out of their way to find the light tech who's going to run their show and be like, "Hey, come meet with us.
yeah.
Like, come. We want to talk to you a little bit."
Dude, I would probably die because, like, when I was growing up, Vanilla Ice was a shit.
Right.
Like, I'd love the fuck out of Vanilla Ice.
I would have. I'd be interested to see him at least
Yeah.
once.
I never got to meet him. I would like to meet him. Maybe one day I will get to meet him.
Beach
but
House Sundays get like a VIP ticket, and for the most part, I mean,
Yeah.
they
What
hang out
is-
in VIP, and Vanilla Ice is definitely one of the
That
ones
place is nice, bro.
who hangs out for a while.
I've never been.
So like you can sit there, you'll do shots together.
Yeah.
We've had some artists that that want to smoke, and obviously they don't fly in with stuff.
Yeah.
So it's always nice
Yeah.
to
Always
know a
check
couple
with your
people.
lighting guy or your sound guy. We can
Right,
hook you up.
you always
Allegedly. We
Allegedly, of
Well,
course,
they
you
just
know.
know people who know people. That's all.
right.
That's all.
Now, is it
That or security.
now for Henry? Is it wheelchair accessible? Can he get in and
Oh,
out
yeah.
of Shepherd's?
Yeah, it's a big outdoor venue. So there's I think 2 or 3 bars set up, and it's all outside. It's all easily accessible. The dance floor is large enough that you can easily get through, and even like the VIP ropes and stuff like that. they're all wheelchair accessible. They're all nice and wide. And
There you go, man.
and
We
they
have to
make
go to
sure
shows,
that
bro.
everyone's
That's usually
comfortable.
that's usually not a problem.
Ooh, you know what?
It's
We
also-
My
should.
boy
you
was a
think it's a
guest DJ
hotel.
on Wednesdays, not Sundays. He was a guest DJ.
So it's a hotel.
You should see.
So through and through,
See if we can do a show
they
there.
Is
follow.
it kind of like
see if we could do a show there.
Lonnie Kai,
For real?
Fort Myers? I don't know if you've ever been there.
what is it called?
Lonnie Kai?
I'm not familiar.
No.
But it's basically they're a hotel and they have a nightclub and a music venue.
That's fucking dope.
So you can pick what you want to go to. Usually, like at the end of the show, we take everyone and we're like, all right, the party's over here. Everyone go to the nightclub. And we'll basically just push everybody into the nightclub, make the nightclub, packed and popping for the rest of the night while we get to close up the stage and get ready for the next one.
And how'd you get plugged in with them guys? Just like word of mouth, like a friend?
DJ Tex Flex.
I have no idea who that is.
I know he's a local DJ. He's one of my favorites. He's amazing at what he does, and we did a lot of like the gay clubs together. And he ended up just they needed a light guy one time, and he ended up having me come in there and introducing me to the management. And I basically I came in, I fixed the issues with their system that night, gave them some free programming just to try and help them out because they needed it.
Right.
And they ended up retaining me and being like, hey, can you come do the concert series? And I just didn't have anything going on back then. I was like, I guess. I didn't realize the type of talent they were bringing in.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was going to be standing on stage, 3 feet away from some like top tier artists and just getting to, hang out and enjoy vibing with these people.
I want you to name drop some more names of people you've worked with.
All right, hold on. Let me.
So we got Vanilla Ice.
We have Vanilla Ice. Tritonal was really cool. If you know Vassy, she's come in a handful of times. Keys and Crates, they were definitely top up there. Beth Sachs, if you know who that is.
I don't.
Let's hit off a few. Morton, Troy Boy, Matoma, Lost Kings, Morgan Page, Zach Martino, Cruella, Sultan Shepherd.
Cruella.
She's the girl with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
With the spinning
Cruella, I think it's
glasses.
2 girls.
Is it?
2 girls,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
they work
Yeah.
together, and they were amazing. I mean, they bring a whole mood with them when they come on stage, and it's just it's like infectious through the crowd. They're a really cool one. Max Bengali, I don't know if you know him. He knows pretty much everybody. He knows like all the top tier DJs, and he's just a very chill guy to hang out with. Jonas Blue, Lost Frequencies, EDX, Riggy and Pyros were some cool motherfuckers, and they started
Jonas,
around here.
like the Jonas Brothers?
Jonas Blue.
Is
So
that like a
that's,
Jonas Brother thing? Or?
No, you definitely know who that is. That's I'll tell you right now.
Jonas Brothers?
Jonas
no, you
Blue.
guys definitely know Jonas Blue.
Is it like a one-hit wonder kind of thing?
A couple hits. He's been top 100 on a handful of times. Song Mama, Perfect Strangers, Polaroid, What I Like About You. Probably things that if you heard them, you would go like, "Oh, that's that motherfucker." Okay.
Right on.
He's one of those that even like I didn't know who he was at first. A lot of these artists, I'm not gonna lie, 90% of them, I had no idea who they were when I got on stage.
Right. Then you're like, oh.
And most of the time,
Google.
I would used to make the mistake. I'd go up to him and be like, "Oh yeah, what do you play?" So I expect a vibe, and like some of them will look at you and be like, "You don't know who I am?" Like, no, sorry. Like, I mean, you could be humble and just tell me who you are, or you can make me Google you. But and some of them you have to Google. Some of them, I had a couple DJs who they told me one of my favorites. I asked him like what the vibe was gonna be like. What kind of music do you play? And he's like, we're gonna go back between some like old school country and some just heavy duty rap. He's like, we're just gonna go back and forth between those two. And I was like, okay, fuck this guy. I know damn well we're not going to either of those genres, but we'll play around.
He was just totally fucking with you at that point.
Yeah. Blau is another. He's one of the
Fucking
closer top tier artists. DJ Icy was really cool.
Oh, yeah, Icy. Yeah. I know Icy.
Yeah.
I
Sam Felt. Elefante is another big one.
I have no idea who any of these people are.
Really?
They're mainly
Cosmic
DJ
Gate. Chami.
They're mainly DJs.
Do you know Chami?
Yeah, they're DJs.
No.
Chami he's a like a world renowned artist. I didn't know who the hell he was until he came in, but really really nice guy.
Talk metal or death metal to Henry, and he might.
It's not even just that, because I listen to rap too. I just don't listen to EDM at all.
Well, that would be.
I
These
listen-
are all EDM artists.
Yeah. I
Like
listen to
Adventure Club is
zero
like an
EDM.
old school.
Adventure
Like
Club.
they were one of the first ones I used to listen to back in like middle school and high school, and then getting to work with them on stage. That's like kind of fun
Yeah.
because you actually know the music.
You're like,
Whereas a lot of these
"Fuck,
guys
man."
I've never heard of.
Right.
That's crazy. Carnage. You have to know Carnage.
He doesn't.
No. CID. Timmy Trumpet.
No. What metal artists have you worked
Bass
with?
and the speakers.
What metal bands have you? Have you worked with any metal bands or death metal bands, rock bands,
Hardcore bands. Yeah.
hardcore bands?
Nothing really hardcore.
No?
I've done like shows with like the City, where it's a bunch of random bands and some might be rock,
Like
some are
Classic rock cover.
right.
band,
There's
kinda
some
stuff,
rock, there's some country in there, but not anyone that I'd remember the name of.
Yeah, I always wanted to know who does Gasparilla at Music Fest. That's the promoter I want to rub shoulders with.
That's Joey is a part of that too.
Who?
Joey DeCunto.
Who?
Guy does Rock the Park. Oh, Jesus, bro. Do you live in Tampa?
Where you at?
Do you go to bed at 7 o'clock every day? He's one of the guys that I know that.
I'm curious. Like, how do you get something that big kicked off? You
Money.
know, and obviously,
Years and years of work.
obviously, the city gets behind it because it brings in fucking
Well, it's a lot of
bucks.
ton of
Money,
sponsors. Too.
promotions.
That's what.
Ton of sponsors.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if I wanted to have a block party in Pegasus or in Channelside, for example, and I wanted to hire Perfect Events to run the production.
What's up, Speed Racer?
Do you
Kid?
guys do stages too, or just
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow, you guys,
Yeah.
dude. This
Staging, we do just about anything. Everything but the artist.
2 years ago, I was going to think about I was going to be one of your competitors.
Really.
Yeah. It was an opportunity came up to buy into a company like yours, and I ended up going with another option available to me. But I've thought about that before.
It's a fun industry to be in. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Well, even
really,
it's you can rent equipment too.
Yeah.
So it's not like you need to have just this huge warehouse of shit that can Murphy's Law can fuck up. You know what I mean? You can
That's
let someone
half the
else's
fun.
garage. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. But
So if I gave you an empty warehouse, you could fill it with the
I
stage.
could make it one of the best shows you've ever seen.
That's a great
yeah.
idea.
So whenever you say you do everything
there used to
but
be
the
this.
artist.
There used to be
you're
this
for real.
venue in
I mean-
Miami that was exactly like that, and I saw Suicidal Tendencies there, and it was fucking dope.
Don't they got something like that in Ybor?
A big warehouse.
Yeah.
Well, State Theater was always. It wasn't a warehouse, but
But I mean,
Yeah,
they got
industrial.
they got
Yeah.
industrial warehouses out there that I think
Oh yeah,
that
they
are just
do.
not
But-
even being used. That would be cool. We could do like a Diamond Vibes concert series.
on a Monday. 5 people show up to a fucking warehouse. They're like, this shit looks so dope for the 5 people that we got to come through the door.
Hello.
Mm.
But
What's her name?
how does now? Say I were to hire you for that. All right,
Okay.
so I'm hiring. Protogink is going to hire Perfect 10 Events, and you're going to set up a stage and a show for me in Channelside. Do you have to work with the city at all, or does that all fall on me and I just relay the information back?
So the only people that we'd actually have to really work with if it came to it. Say you guys want lasers. Okay. Lasers is something that the FDA and if we're outside the FAA regulate. So we have to, call the FAA and let them know, hey, we have a laser show for this date. It's going to be outside. We need to let you know. That way you don't fly, planes overhead. We don't want to accidentally hit anybody.
Right.
Now, mind you, we always terminate a beam, which just means that it has to hit something. I don't ever let a stray light, just go into space. It's just you're gonna get issues trying to do that, and they'll know where you are, and they will come and have
Punch
a nice
your
little
ass
chat
down.
with you. Right. Pointing lasers into space, always a bad idea. It's like 10 years in prison or
Is
like
it really?
$250,000. Oh,
I
yeah.
thought that was just at a plane. Just
What?
shooting in space in general.
It is at a plane. So if a plane
okay.
goes by
Yeah.
and they see your beam, if they can see it, then you can get in trouble because you were distracting a commercial
Oh.
vehicle. And in Florida, it's the same with a car. If I have cars going by and I'm distracting drivers or I hit a car, that's again a felony.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Florida
Just don't do
has
it.
their own right.
Just don't.
So
More
we
you
always
know,
make sure
man.
it's got to hit a
Goddamn.
building. It's got to hit something that stops it.
Right.
Trees, even as long as they're dense enough that we know that it's not going any
gonna
further.
go through.
But that's really one of the only times that we have to deal with like the city. We don't usually have to pull permitting or anything like that unless we're
guys are-
requested to do so.
Pretty fucking lucky then, man, because I used to have to deal with the city a lot with when I worked in property, and like I fucking hated it. Just pulling permits and like you're dealing with the most retarded fucking people on the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like DMV people, you know what I mean? Actually, to be honest with you, I've only been to a DMV long once, and it was when I got my driver's license. Every other time I've been in and out in like 30 minutes. But you're getting that stereotype of retard level with those common people. The retard level is pretty high.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've had a good working relationship anytime that we've needed anything. But like I said, there's been very few times we've ever really needed much.
Yeah. I want to do that then, man. I don't know. I would hire you for it.
Now, what
You'd be
can
happy
you...
to.
Do a fucking channel side. Do that little courtyard area.
Right. So you
Have a
can
Pro Touch
handle
event.
big. Like, if I wanted to hire you for Raymond James Stadium, you would be able to handle that? Or is that too big?
I would make a couple phone calls to get some additional gear brought in because, like I said, I have enough to do a venue like that. But in terms of like say like a lot of lighting, I have enough to do. I would say a medium to a decent size outdoor venue. I'm not going to have enough to do a lot of like the big concert halls. So I would call a friend over at say J Thor or some of the other companies in this area, Best AV. And be like, hey, I need like 150 more fixtures, 200 more fixtures, and usually you'll work out a good deal with them as long as you have a good working relationship.
So you can pretty
Oh,
much
yeah.
handle it. So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
nothing too small or too big. You can handle it all.
No, might need to make a phone call to get additional gear brought in,
Right.
but pretty much any show of any size, happy to do it.
Wow. It's good to know, man.
You know how to organize shows, or you just deal with that aspect? Like, if, say, for instance, I wanted to do an outdoor event at a park around this area, would you know, like, who I would need to contact, or would you be able to contact the people as far as getting permits and all that stuff?
I have contacts with the city that could definitely get me the right person that I would need.
Okay.
Whereas I'm not usually the one that has to make those phone calls, but we know enough people in the right places that if we needed information like that, we can make a phone call and be like, hey, which of your numbers should I be calling, and have them just give us the right information or send us in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really expect you to know necessarily who to call for the permitting and all that. But, alright, so let's switch gears a little bit then. So, I want to hear the horror stories.
So it has to be a horror story,
the
but I can't
drama.
use an artist name, right?
Yeah, and literally you can say, just don't be like,
You can
that-
say what kind of genre of
that
music. just no
EDM,
name.
that EDM guy who wears the mushroom-like thing, but not mushroom. Don't do
the
that.
mouse head.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. All right.
Yeah.
Not Rat Mouse or Skillet, the DJ. So
Okay, some of the interesting stories.
yeah.
So-
So what's some shit that's gone down?
We've especially like Shepherds. So Shepherds, I probably did the most shows with them through the concert series, and you always are going to run into some really interesting characters, and sometimes they're the people that you're working with. But we've had artists that just get so trashed that they end up at the end of night like crawling across the stage. Or we've had a night where one artist got so drunk couldn't perform. He couldn't see his decks. There was Nexus 2s right in front of him.
That's crazy.
And he literally was like you're watching him, and I'm standing like 3 feet away. And I'm like, this guy is gonna fall. Like he and he just fucked it up like 10 times. Like he would go to mix, and he'd hit the wrong deck, and he would like mix in the wrong song that he just forgot was playing on like deck 4, and he'd like turn it up, and all of a sudden you just watch him like freak out. He cut everything off.
Oh, man.
And it goes silent, and then he brings one track back on. And you're like, that is the worst mix I have ever seen.
That's some John Poet shit. That's some
Fucking
DJ Poet
just some
shit.
hilarious shit.
Probably.
Well, you told me once that you left for 45 minutes your DJ booth so you could go fuck some chick at a hotel.
Very true.
I can beat that. We had a local DJ over at G St. Pete. And anyone at G will know exactly who I'm talking about. This DJ got brought in like 3 weeks. 3 weeks they brought him in on a Friday. And the first week he comes in, way overuses his tab, demands a bigger tab, but just gets super trashed, brings his girlfriend in, does a whole bunch of coke in the booth, and then in the last like 45 minutes disappears to go fuck his girlfriend in the bathroom.
Nice.
And it really clicked when all of a sudden we hear 93.3 in the mix on the mix, and we looked over and he was streaming 93.3 to the fucking system.
Wow.
Like, or there's one night that
How do you leave that for 45 minutes? What do you want it there to be like more?
Well, because he had coked it.
There was commercials. There commercials
Right.
played.
There was
That's
commercials
how
played.
we all knew what was going on. Commercials played, and he never even came out of the bathroom. I don't even know if he heard them. He was so out of it. And then we brought him back the next week.
Why,
It
though?
blew my mind. I was like, how do you bring
That's
back
classic.
this guy again? And you know what? He did it again.
because you
Wow.
paid
He
for it.
did it again. And the second time, we all shut down.
I want to party with this guy.
We all shut down, we get ready, and his music ends like 5 minutes early. Just music cuts off. We're all just standing there like,
Is he well?
where is he? What's going on? No. He's well known in this area, but I would say outside of this area, no one's ever heard of him.
I gotta know who this is.
Yeah. Because I know a little bit of DJ world through him. So.
Off.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
about it.
I'll share some.
I'm really curious.
Yeah.
Because
that
there's a
was-
whole, one thing we've never even really talked about it. Tampa, I live in Tampa. I work in Tampa. Do you live here too? Or are you?
I live like 10 minutes from here. This was beautiful. I got to wake up like right before this happened and just come on over.
But you got Tampa here, and then you got St. Pete, and you got Clearwater. And I've been thinking a lot more lately. Like, dude, why doesn't? It's like no one really moves out there. For metal, people go out to Newport Richie, or Tampa. But you still got St. Pete, and you got Clearwater out there. So if you're telling me that there's these clubs where all of these events are going on there, I'm thinking I should probably go check out at least some of them and see what I can do.
Clearwater outside of Shepherd's, I don't really know anybody else that does that. I mean, they're like the one
Right.
that seems to be successful out there. I feel like the city goes
They're
after
like the
a lot of
Ritz
the
of Tampa.
Right.
Yeah, they seem a lot of my
Yeah, because
range.
Hogan's Beach changed to water, and then so
Water.
that's a good
those
spot.
Those are
Yes.
nice guys too.
That's a really good spot. I
They,
liked
they
it.
do a good job with what they're trying to accomplish, but I think they're trying to be the competition to Shepherd's, and honestly, I just don't think there really is competition
No,
to
there
Shepherd's
isn't.
right now.
What's the occupancy on Shepherd's? Do you know? Right off rip.
Gotta be like
Well, the beauty is it's
What's
outdoor on a beach.
Yeah,
so
so
as soon as the
where does
dance
it
floor
end?
fills and all the bars fill, then everyone just flows out to the two whole lengths of beach, and then
Yeah.
they fill those. So like for like the big weekends, I mean the whole place is just packed,
You
and
gotta
because
have-
it's outside,
Yeah.
they don't really get into the whole occupancy
Is
issue.
that like a 3,000 type person thing that they'll have out there, or does it not get quite that big?
See, I've never been to Shepherd's. It's crazy. I'm from here. I live here. I've never
Yeah,
been.
it's-
And how do they regulate people coming off the beach? Like, why can't I
Their
just
beach
go
is
to the
private.
beach?
Their beach is private, and you have to be wristbanded to be on it. So they have security that basically rove around, and if no bar will serve you if you don't have a wristband.
Right.
And if you're trying to, you pull your boat up, you can bring your boat, but when you come up, you're gonna have to get a wristband. Security will spot you before you even hit one of
Yeah, 'cause they watch you
one of the
coming
main
from the boat.
floors.
Yeah. Do they have the beach blocked off with like a fence or something? Well, when you
It's
say
not that
private,
it's-
what do you mean?
It's
I think it means
on
you could
one side it's
probably-
condominiums, and on the other side it's another hotel. And so there's giant rock boulders basically that kind of jet off from the two sides, but they'll see you. There's always people that try. Some people can do it for a while, but usually they get caught eventually.
dope.
Because honestly, man, I like Tampa. I do, and I really have no intention of going anywhere anytime soon. However, we do also live right next to St. Pete and Clearwater, and it'd be nice to venture outside of, like, Ybor and Pegasus.
So we're doing a heavy EDM show. I want to say it was Carnage. and I know you guys don't know who Carnage is.
No, I do.
Oh,
Henry
okay.
doesn't.
Carnage is very heavy. Like he's like the headbangers
Your
of
dubstep.
EDM,
Yeah,
right?
gotcha.
And so I remember there's the show going on, and he's just trying to get ratchet on stage, and that's all he keeps saying. He's just drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. He's like, we're gonna get fucked up. You know, we're gonna take this party. He's got all these girls. Usually we don't let anyone on stage. He's got all these girls like twerking all over the stage and shit. And I just see this one guy in the front row, and he's just going to town, throwing his head. And then I look back over at him, and he's just bleeding.
Oh, jeez.
Just profusely bleeding out of his face. And I get worried about him. I'm like, did somebody punch this guy? Like, what happened? So I tap someone, like, grab security, like, make sure this guy's okay. And so security comes back to me, and he goes, he was throwing his head so hard that he literally hit our audience barrier, our metal rail.
Oh,
just
shit.
threw his face right into it, bounced off, and then just kept going. He was
Broke
like,
his
fuck it,
nose or
just,
something?
he was
Or
just
mouth?
pouring blood, and he just did not care. He was drunk enough or fucked up enough. He's still out there dancing, throwing his head, and we're just like,
Fuck it.
Good for you, man.
have fun.
Party
Shit.
hard.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a concert like that in a long time, man. Where I just fucking let loose like that, man.
Now, I mean, since you're like behind the scenes with the DJ, you don't have to mention names of the DJs, but and you get to see them what they're doing on the mixer per
I
se.
used
You
to
know,
video it
music,
sometimes.
huh?
I used to video it sometimes.
Yeah.
There's
so
a lot
you know what
of
I'm
these
getting at.
big DJs that
Right.
come in
And they're not even
and
playing
their
that
entire
shit.
thing is preset.
Yeah.
They click play.
Yeah.
It mixes for them. I mean, it's they literally. I'll just video them because sometimes I have like I'll be live on Facebook or something, and if you go back into like my live feeds for a lot of these DJs, you could see it. If I point at the artist, 9 times out of 10,
Yeah,
it's
you're-
not that I'm showing the artist. It's that I show little things like them playing with knobs that don't do anything.
Right.
There's a lot of knobs on the
On a mixer that doesn't do
right on an
shit.
S9 or the Nexus 2 mixer
Yeah.
that aren't being run, and
Yeah.
they just like to play with them. They'll turn off the effects and they'll like play with the effects knob as if it's doing something.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like, you get paid to do this.
I've watched
They paid you
DJs
like $30,000 to come here and do this,
and you're not doing nothing.
and you have yet to do anything. It just blows my mind. I'm like,
You
fuck,
know what, man? If that's what the fans, and I get when your, DJ booths are set high so you can't see. But hey, if you're just coming to watch a guy sit behind a couple
Yeah.
whatevers,
They get paid to dance.
Someone I will name because they were just this awful, and no one's gonna know who they are anyway. Lost Kings.
I've heard of the name.
Yeah,
Have
that
you?
does sound
Yeah.
familiar.
All right, so we bring in these Lost Kings. Duo seemed like nice enough guys. They, in their rider, you guys are very
Yeah.
familiar with riders and all that. In their rider, it had a 8-page list of music that could not be played the day of to be played. It basically, they took like the entire top 100 chart for the last 3 years and banned it. So like the DJs playing were like, I can't play any of this. This is everything.
Because they wanted to play it.
Right, they wanted to play it.
Yeah.
And then when they do finally come out on stage, they hit play on a mix. They had a pre-made mix. They weren't even DJing at this point. They had a pre-made mix that they hit play on, and the whole rest of the night, they just played with knobs. And they'd take turns playing with knobs. One of them would look in like he's doing something, and they just played with fucking nothing knobs. And I just sat next to him, and I was like, I love what I do. But this is not what people were coming for.
Yeah, that's why whenever they got off vinyl, you couldn't fake a vinyl record.
Right.
Unless you had a whole vinyl record that was one big mix. But even then, people would know that you would do it because that record would never leave.
You can only fit so much on a record too.
Right.
You're only going to get so many minutes out of a record.
What the hell? You look like you're about to interview like a wrestler coming out or something.
I like it. I liked holding it versus trying to suck the dick of the microphone on the fucking stand here. But
You have to talk
At
into
least
the
You
mic.
got to talk into the
At
mic.
least
forgot what
the
I was
piece
saying.
keeps you
It's
from
just in my head now.
throating the mic. There's a lot of artists that will literally take a mic and
Yeah.
they'll put their hand
Swallow it.
over this and they'll
Right.
keep it against their mouth
For
and
sure.
they just sound so
So that they can just talk like this, because
Right,
it doesn't
it's
sound
just-
muffled at all.
It just makes
Yeah.
you want to punch them, pull the mic out.
Yeah, there. Back a few years ago, there was this group. I'm not going to mention their name. EDM guys that I was managing. They were new, 23-year-old kids, and I told them about this, about their favorite DJs, how that was happening. And they would not believe me. They were like, "No, there's no way they're doing that." I'm like, "Bro, they're doing
That's why
that."
you video it.
Yeah, I was
Can't
like,
argue
"Bro,
with
they're
the
doing
video.
that." And I was like, half of them don't even write their own music. I'm like, they're all ghost. You know, it's all being ghosted
That's
for
what
them.
I don't get though, because like EDM's not like pop, where you're pop. You know, you want some girl who looks like Ariana Grande, who's just a total fucking dumbass, but
She's so fun.
I don't find her attractive in the slightest.
Thank God Quinn's not listening to this. He'd have a heart attack hearing you speak ill of Ariana Grande.
I don't
That's
like her
like-
as a person. I don't like. Was Quinn your partner? or-
Yeah, Quinn's my
okay,
boyfriend.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you like? Why would? All right. So if you didn't write your own shit and you're DJ Poet and he's ghostwriting all your shit for you, why the fuck isn't his name in lights and why is yours?
Because
Marketing?
That too, yeah.
I mean,
And
does
there's-
PR really play that much of a role at
Yeah,
that point?
of course.
She's well known, and so I mean, you're going to have people that want to write for her. And I'm not sure if she ghostwrites her songs or if she actually does write her own music. That I can't be sure of. But like a lot of big artists like that, it's not usually like one writer. But you'll look at like a track, and I'm trying to think of who it was. Another one of those big pop artists, but they had like 10 people
Country.
who co-wrote a
Yeah.
track. And you're like, Jesus Christ! Like it's not even that you wanted one person to write a song, but it took that many people to write a song, and it wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I like when
crazy.
you got 3 or more writers on like Nicki Minaj songs. They got like 5 whole fucking words in the entire
Right.
thing.
Yeah, it's more prevalent than you think.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people, they think, "Oh man, this guy's really writing his own fucking music." No, I
A
mean,
lot
it's
of
like,
rappers, especially.
oh yeah, definitely
really,
a lot of
really
rappers.
prevalent in a lot of rappers.
It's
Post Malone, like Post Malone, the "I Fall Apart" song.
Mhm.
I really love that fucking song, so I looked up the credits on the song. He's like 3rd or 4th down,
Right.
and if you know anything about credits, whoever's name is
Whoever's
first,
on the top.
then 2nd. That's how much they had to do with that song. He was like 3rd or 4th down on the list. So I'm like, this guy probably said, "Yeah, it'd be cool to have like a little kick snare there, or let me put in I Fall Apart here." That's probably pretty
it
much
was-
all he had to do with that song.
I think it was Katy Perry. If I'm not, she's either the artist that she writes all of her own music on her own, or she's the one that literally like everything is ghostwritten for. And I want to say it was Katy Perry that like 90% of her music is ghostwritten.
I believe that.
really because I wasn't. I've heard mixed stuff about Taylor Swift. I've
Might have
heard
been her. I know it's one of those.
I've heard
I don't
she
really know
does, she
female pop
doesn't.
artists all that
You
well.
know what I mean?
Quentin knows every single one of them by name and could hear like 10 seconds of a song and tell you what it is.
For my older folks that's listening, Elvis Presley, another one,
Mm.
didn't write none of his music. I think he wrote one song.
Really.
Yeah,
Really?
It was.
See, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, he had not write any
I
of
don't
his
know
music.
if I believe that.
That's 100% fact.
What?
Elvis,
Elvis
Aaron
Anyone fact check
Presley.
did
that?
not write any of
I
his
believe it.
music.
We're gonna fact
Can
check
we-
this.
let's fact check
Elvis
that.
Presley
believe
did
it.
not
I think
write
you're
any
full
of
of
his music.
shit.
Only a handful
He was
of
jacking
songs.
people's music for forever.
Elvis, Aaron Presley.
Yep, he had ghostwriters, man.
Do you know they had to redo his tomb twice?
Wow.
Because his middle name is Aron, not Aaron, and they spell Aaron instead of Aron.
I didn't know that.
Some little trivia for you.
Thanks. That's some shit we were talking about before the show. I remember it. Oh no, never mind. We're not gonna get into that.
What was
Again.
that called? The Mandela effect?
Mandela effect.
For real.
Yeah.
Anyone not familiar with that,
You
Google
didn't know
that.
that about Elvis?
No.
Yeah, man.
I wonder if... I don't want to
Where
know
we
if my
at?
man Frank Sinatra did. I really don't want to know.
Where we at? Did you find out yet?
Hold up.
Did
Okay.
Elvis Presley write any of his music? That's the way. Put it in Google.
While we're waiting for that, there is a person from Orange is the New Black.
Mhm.
Okay. And while I won't say her name,
Otis Blackwell. I guess he's one of the main guys. I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, oh, good.
Otis Blackwell. He was one of the guys that used to write for him.
There's one of the actors that is also a DJ, and she travels and DJs and whatnot, and she was probably one of my favorite people to come in because I knew nothing about her other than watching on Orange is the New Black, and then coming in, we ended up spending like a good percentage of the night just drinking and getting stoned, and just having like she like went from someone that I thought was like unapproachable
To somebody that was cool.
to someone that like was like really cool and wanted to hang out. I was like, oh, here, take my number down. Next time I'm in town, we'll hang out. It was just like, whoa.
You
Like-
said this was one of the people from Orange is the New Black.
Trying to
Yeah.
figure out which one.
There's only one from Orange is the New Black who's a DJ.
Okay.
teacher. Oh, I don't know her name, but like I have her in my mind.
It's the black
She's
lady, right?
No. She's like the real. In the show, she's like a religious freak, right?
Yes.
In the
Yeah,
early
'cause she's the one
season,
from
the brunette, right?
what movie is
She's a
that?
DJ, isn't she?
She's from Hustle and Flow.
Yeah,
Hustle
yeah,
and Flow.
Yeah, go get the mic.
yeah,
Oh, get the mic.
yeah.
Hold on, I'll show you a photo.
Really? That's crazy. I didn't even know she DJ'd.
It's
Yeah.
crazy that Hustle and Flow is everywhere now. Because I feel like when it first came out, it wasn't.
No, it really wasn't. It's everywhere now.
Yeah, that's her. That's
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the sweetest women.
Tiny.
Like,
She's tiny.
Yeah,
she's
she's
like
tiny,
5'1".
but she's so fucking nice.
Yeah.
Like you kind of expect sometimes like we had Jay Sean, I think the same night, AJ Mitchell. I wasn't aware that AJ Mitchell was not 21, so we'll avoid that whole story.
Wow.
But
Wah, wah.
for right, like you don't always know.
Right,
They're
right.
wristbanded VIP. They
Yeah.
look the same as everybody
I
else.
know Vinny was really giving a shit.
what was her
Right. Taryn Manning.
name? Taryn Manning.
Yeah.
Shout out to Taryn Manning. You're,
Not that she'll ever hear this, but she was one of the coolest fucking people
Right.
that had the pleasure of working with.
I would take her out on a date. Introduce her to my mom.
My man Stan is saying that Elvis wrote the song. He said later on he did write some of the songs, and All Shook Up was one of them.
Mm.
All Shook Up was a huge song in,
Yeah.
in like music history, because that was the song that put him on the. No, that wasn't the song that put him on the radio. That was one of the songs that put him on the radio, and it pissed off a whole lot of people, basically. So, but I read a book about it in college. I don't really remember the book, but I remember I read a book about it in college.
You read a book about the song?
No,
Or
it was
a book
about
about Elvis?
It was about
The book didn't tell you didn't write.
It was
he
a
didn't
guy.
write
It was a
none
guy
of his
on
music?
radio. He was like one of the first rock disc jockeys. I forgot his name, but he started putting Elvis out there, and people were getting pissed because they thought that back then that was fucking
Devil's
devil
music.
music. Yeah. So, but this what's this? Alan something? Alan. The fuck is this guy's name?
I think I know what you're
Alan,
talking about.
Alan Rickel or
Alan
something?
Rickman is the actor who played
Alan?
Snape in
Rick.
yeah, that was Snape from Harry Potter.
Yeah, this guy. He was a fucking. He
But
was
I don't
a
know that he ever
radio.
did music.
He
He had
was
a
like
very weird
radio show.
voice. Think Snape trying to sing. Like that's just
Right.
a very weird voice to try to do music.
While he's doing this, do you have any shows that's coming up, or do you have any
Alan
events that's
Freed.
coming up?
There we go. Alan Freed. All right.
Right now, no,
No,
because
so you're
with
just-
COVID-19, I mean, everything has been halted. Everything's stopped. Really don't have anything going on.
So what are you doing now to fill in your time, fill in the company? Like, are you doing anything marketing
Installs.
wise?
So for right now, we're focusing like
Like
we
you
we
were
had
saying
talked
earlier
that-
about revamping the
Yeah.
clubs and stuff.
We
so you've
we
been getting
design
on.
and build nightclubs and concert venues. So with that in mind, we've gone back to some of the clients that we'd finished up with before, and now they're like they want new things, they want additions, they want changes, things like that. That started calling us and being like, hey, we want to do this before we reopen, and so we've gotten busy again just from that. And there's good money in it. I mean, it definitely keeps us afloat until this whole thing drops down and we can go back to doing our main events.
I know at the Pegasus, if I'm not mistaken, you were like the only guy installing all that shit, right? Mainly.
Yeah, for the most part. It was me and my partner.
Right. So do you have a crew now?
Yeah, so I always I try to keep it small. I don't like a whole lot of people because that's when I start to have issues. I've noticed when I get too many people that I can't, keep an eye on what they're doing, that's when you start getting people that, install things incorrectly or they try to cut corners, and we don't do that. There is no cutting corners with Perfect Events. It's perfect or it's nothing.
Right.
So I've had a lot of hiring and firing that I've gone through people while I'm trying to find the right ones. But the ones that we have that have found their place and their home with us, those are people that I have on all of our shows, on all of our things, on all of our installs, and they're like my right hand. They're always right there to make sure that everything goes correctly.
Yeah.
That's some people like I don't think that people really always understand about the workplace is like sometimes it's not necessarily like you could have had an employee who was a good employee, knew what they were doing, but maybe they don't vibe with you well. You know what I mean? So now
That happened recently.
yeah, and it's nothing's wrong with the person. They just
Get under your
different
skin.
people.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, and so people got to think about that and consider that before they, you know, before they get all pissy about it. Because you see people like terrorize their fucking ex bosses online. And don't get me wrong, I have 2 ex bosses that was at the same place who like I would happily call out in every way possible. Because fuck those guys. But I never did because like. I was
doesn't
aware.
look good.
Yeah, one, it doesn't look good, but aware I wasn't perfect either, and then 2, you know, even beyond that, it's just sometimes you're just not a right fit for the people you're working with.
Right.
I don't know why I went on a big rant about that, but I did. It happened.
Touched something.
I felt.
So do you guys have any like social media? Are you on Instagram,
So,
Facebook, Twitter?
For Instagram, it's Perfect Events Tech. That's like our Instagram page for the company. My page is Justin Does Your Tech.
Do you want to spell that? The last part?
Tech,
Our shit.
TECH.
Desert Tech? Like desert?
Does your
Does your.
Does your- I thought you said
Justin
desert.
Does Your Tech.
Oh, I thought you said desert for some
Yeah,
reason.
oh,
It came
right.
out weird. Wow, I'm not that drunk.
I'm talking too quick.
Yeah, all right, slow down.
I'll do my best.
I'm on my second White Claw, and I'm feeling like I'm on my 16th.
Yeah, Justin Does Your Tech, and then we have Perfect
Doesn't it sound
Events
like desert?
Tech.
No, it actually sounds like a name of a porno, though.
It does.
I mean,
Would you ever
we've probably
consider-
done that too.
Will you consider being a porn star? I mean, we can do like the lighting, sound, staging.
I've looked into it.
Okay, all right.
I've looked into opening a studio.
Henry,
I
wink, wink,
considered
nudge,
it.
nudge.
Once upon a time, I considered it.
Yeah.
We were talking about it
when
one
I
time.
was-
Actually, I've gone so far as I've sourced in probably about 15 different actors who would be willing to partake and set up virtual cam shows and things like that to
Right.
specific clientele. You know, I put a little bit of time into it and was like, you know, this could be some serious money. But in the end, I realized it's not always a good look. Like, I would definitely want to keep it separate from Perfect Events. I
Right,
don't need Perfect
right.
Events being associated with a porn studio.
It starts
They,
to,
they
like,
might
go to the side.
conflict a little bit.
Henry was telling me this the other day. I mean, with that Joe Exotic shit, I guess there's a porn company that's doing some like Joe Exotic
wouldn't doubt
weird
that at
porn
all.
here in Tampa. And Henry's like, "Yeah, Tampa's the mecca of porn." I'm like, "Really? I didn't know that."
There's a lot
Well,
here.
I wouldn't say
mostly
I was thinking
Mecca.
Miami
a lot more
would
in
be the
Miami.
mecca. Yeah,
Yeah,
Miami, I
Miami
know
is
a lot of
Brazzers.
people-
You have Brazzers in Miami, but Tampa's definitely home. Tampa and Orlando are definitely home to quite a few.
Damn. If you need a porn studio built,
Yeah,
you
we'd
know,
be happy to
Perfect
do
Event-
it.
Yeah, I
Perfect
mean,
Events
we
will-
we
Bring
worked
in all your lighting and audio. I even have video editors. We'll even edit your
There you
video.
go.
We'll
Now,
make
do
it
you
produce.
do you have makeup artists though? Because apparently
do.
that's one of the biggest things that
I
they
do.
need. You do?
Oh yeah,
Okay, see,
Wow.
you
you're,
gotta realize
you're fully ready to
you
go,
gotta
man.
think.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm part of that community that basically introduces me to all the makeup artists
Yeah.
because 99% of them are gonna be they're gay. You know, most of them, unless they're female, if they're male, they're usually gay. And so, for the most part, you know,
Shout out Star Shear's boyfriend.
Oh, shit!
Oh, shit.
Damn!
Let's go ahead and, for the record,
He's a big guy, right?
yeah, he
I
would
hate that
fuck
fucking
you up,
dude.
dude.
No,
I can't say all of them.
It was-
Obviously, not all of them,
it's
but
another,
a lot
it's
of
another
them
radio
are.
host boyfriend. so
we were engaged to be married, and she dissed me for this better-looking dude.
he's much
Much
better.
more
You can't
muscular.
get mad if they're that
His
much better looking.
Younger, much more muscular.
Yeah.
Younger, better
A
looking,
lot more
might have money.
tattoos. Like, way
Yeah.
better person. Just
Yeah,
like
just an
all-
overall better human.
Like, if this was NBA 2K, he would have like a 99 overall. He'd be like 78.
Fuck.
Yeah. Long way to go.
Thanks.
No, I'm just keeping it real.
I'm moving my show. We're moving
You're,
my show
you're
off this network.
you're like playing Tony Hawk without the cheat codes.
Yeah,
He's-
you're regular
he's
Tony
doing
Hawk.
effects.
You're like basic Tony Hawk.
Fucked up. That's fucked
You
up.
do about 2 kickflips.
That's
That's
the
about
most
it.
clever thing you ever fucking said. Bro.
I was glad to be part of the show when he came up with the most clever thing.
For real.
I'm-
This is
this is
history. This is history.
Are you a gamer?
I'm really not. So like Quen is a gamer. Like every single night from I don't know, 9 to like 2 or 3 a.m. He has his friends and his family that he goes online and he plays with, and I just give him his space while he does it because it makes him happy, and fuck it.
There
if
you
you're going
go.
to be a houseboy, why not have your thing that
Yeah.
makes you happy?
What
Facts.
system?
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
He has PlayStation and plays PC. I mean, we have an Xbox and a Switch and everything else he could want,
Yeah.
but those seem to be his main ones that he likes the most.
I'm on the Switch. If you guys want to fuck with me on some Monopoly, holler at your boy.
They
Kick your ass at Monopoly.
who was it?
Smash.
So do you guys-
Smash is my game. Like if I'm gonna play,
I haven't played it.
if
That's
I'm gonna
my- yeah, I
play
got that too.
like a video game, Fallout, which I loved every Fallout, and
That's a zombie game, right?
It's like
It's
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
yeah.
post-apocalyptic. Like if
Post-nuclear.
like the world ended in like the 60s or the
Okay.
50s, like what it would be like. And so it's like technology, but like all the cars and everything
Yeah.
is like 1950s style. It's
So
a
like
cool
you're trying to
little-
call people on like dial phones and shit.
right.
But it's cool. It's a cool concept. I wasn't. Yeah.
So do you guys? Did you say you were putting together a studio, or you decided not to?
Not putting
Porn
together
studio.
Not a porn studio, but just like a recording studio.
Oh,
like-
recording studio? No, not planning to do that anytime soon. The market for that is way overly saturated here. I know 15 guys in this
Oh, yeah,
area
there's plenty.
who
I
have
mean, as
their
far
own
as-
home
for
studio
like,
that they talk up like it's the best thing ever.
Let's say, for instance, like video recording instead of that, because there's not many video recording studios in Tampa. There's a lot of videographers, but there's no actual place with lights and green screens and all of that.
So I know a couple of video recording studios, and usually like I would use one. We may bring all of our own gear.
You outsource
we
it?
can bring
Okay.
all of our own lighting and stuff like that, and if they have better cameras, we might use their cameras. But for the most part, like if we're going to shoot video, a lot of times the person who wants the video, they'll decide where they want it. Usually, it's more places in like public that we're going to be shooting than things in a video studio.
Yeah.
We don't have as much experience in the video studios, but it's still a fun thing to do when you do get that call, when somebody wants something specific like that, and it's always happy to help.
Yeah, that's where I eventually plan on going that route too. So it's gonna be fun.
Video studios are the way to go.
Studio with it. I looked at him once, man.
Well, I don't know
'cause
about actually getting a studio more than just doing more video than this. Like this is radio. Radio's cool, but we're gonna transition more into the video aspect of everything. It's way
Yeah.
better.
It's like I said, dude. I have that skit I sent you plus many others, man. As soon as you're ready, because like to promote the show, because the show's doing a lot better than I think Poet or I really expected for it to do.
Right.
And
I'm on the show, bro.
it's
That's what he said. He said poet.
I expected it to do exactly what it's doing right now.
Poet actually drives our numbers down.
Yeah.
Because somebody likes to fly off the handle every 2 weeks on Facebook. But
Then they tune into this show and get to see I'm
No.
really not a bad guy.
I think they boycott you. I think that's more appropriate to what happens. But
Thanks.
I forgot my whole point now. Oh yeah, I looked at the studio for like a video studio.
Nobody cares.
Just to see if I could like set one up for what do you call that?
Porn?
A storage space.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do it there.
No.
It had to be like an actual studio, and then you had to get like special painters to come in, and you got to like drywall shit a certain way so that you can
So
get. If you're trying to get
it's
the
very specific for your psych. So when you want to build your psych, a lot of these studios, and I mean a lot of them, they will repaint the psych per shoot. So it's not like they're using cheap paint. It's all oil based, top brand kind of paints.
paint's
They're
not
going through
cheap.
like $500 to $600 just in paint every time that they have to repaint their studio, because one day they need green screen.
And who does this? The people renting it or the person?
No. person-
The studio owners.
Yeah.
The people that own the studio, whenever they're going to rent it, depending on the client's need, they will repaint the space.
Now, give me a better understanding, because I'm green to this, and probably a whole bunch of people that are listening are green as well. I mean, what is that? What is a video studio?
So, have you ever seen like the behind the screens of how a music video is made?
Yeah. Or like
And-
movies?
Yeah, and
Right.
they're inside of a warehouse kind of looking thing.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Can you pull up video? Like, can you show video, like something on YouTube? No. I was gonna say there's
If
this,
we had it on a
on like a flash drive.
MP4, I'd be able to do it.
Gotcha.
We're not that
So
cool.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But soon, coming, yeah. I got the equipment. I just got to hook everything
So
up.
there's this really cool video if you're interested in anything like that, and it was Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, the one where they had fucking Davy Jones with the
Oh, yeah, they showed you the
squid, and they showed you like how they do it.
Okay.
And so there's one scene.
Yeah, I see that on Facebook all the time. Like the Hulk
Yeah.
movie, this is how they did it. You know,
They have a scene where like it's the actor with the dots on his face. He's basically just in a gray suit that has like tracking dots that come all the way around, and then like dots on his face. And then they like show like a swipe, and as it swipes across, now it's got like gray, just like tentacles. And then they do it again, and now it's colored. Then they do it again, and now it's it actually has the 3D shape. And they just keep swiping it like 3 or 4 times until they show you the last of like what he actually looked like in the movie. So it's like how they built that animation on his face.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's just like some really crazy stuff because they really do use tracking dots and everything whenever they're building scenery and whatnot.
Well,
On your
know-
green screen, just put the little dots.
now is there money in that?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
kind
ton of money.
Oh yeah,
It sounds like it would be.
That's
very
one of the
expensive.
that's one of the highest paying fields.
it's expensive,
Aside from,
but
digital
that's why you
animation.
charge a lot more.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
digital
there-
animation is probably the only thing that's more pricey.
Is there
per
anything
hour.
in Tampa that's currently doing that?
No, not that
I know
of.
some guys in St. Pete, but not in Tampa.
I don't know anybody in Tampa, but I haven't gotten into that scene yet. I kind of just went in a little bit and started meeting a few people, like Justice from Ryan Justice from his Justified Films. I know a couple of guys. I don't really know too many.
Like DJ Fresh, if you
Right.
know him, he's one of the larger DJs in the area. DJ Fresh is part of a studio, a video studio out in St. Pete where they film lots of commercials for like big companies. I mean, Coke, Disney, like big companies, and they have a full built studio in their space that you go into, and where you might think it's kind of small, and then all of a sudden they show you like the videos that they do there and what they did, and they can make it as big as they want it to
Yeah,
look.
you can't tell.
Because they have all their own animators, they have all their own everything that they need to make it. So where it may look like a small space, they way blow it up in these videos and these commercials, and you're just like, holy shit, like it's amazing.
Now, did you say you were capable of doing that, or no?
I can source the gear for it.
Gotcha.
So pretty much like anything else, if I have a client that has a request, I can make it happen. Do I carry Blackmagic 8K cameras? That's not something I carry, but I can make a phone call and get them sent over.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty interesting how you guys work all that. It is.
90% of the industry is who you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it down to when if you're going to get on a tour, if you're going to work with a specific artist, you want to work at a venue, you want to just even shooting commercials. It's all about who you know to make sure that you have everything you could possibly need.
Yeah,
And Perfect Events can do that for you. Right?
Perfect Events can.
Perfect Events can.
There we go. We're gonna talk about our porn studio. We're gonna do.
Yes.
I thought about it, and back when I was fucking 19 and 20 and exploring the idea, and I was in Fort Lauderdale, and the world was my fucking oyster, hell yeah, I was all about it. Now that I'm a little bit older, I literally can't imagine a job that would fucking annoy me more than watching.
Really?
Bro, you'd be fucking like.
You
couple
know
times
how
a day, man. You jerk off that much.
who's fucking a couple times a day?
You would
You? Who?
You
As
would
a
The
porn
owner
star.
of the studio. Oh, I thought you were talking about the owner of the studio.
Yeah, I'm looking at
you're
this
a porn
from an
star.
old-
You're
oh.
gonna be fucking a couple times a day.
Man, I'm not equipped to be a porn
Well,
star.
a lot of times they don't. So, like, a lot of porn is fake. Just, I have a lot of friends. that-
What? No.
They fake those.
You don't say.
Oh, no,
That's
no.
not real love.
I thought they.
No, when I say
I thought they
fake, I
cared
mean
about each
down
other.
to
Yeah.
like the ending that people watch, and
Right.
it's not real. Like, it's literally made up fucking
As-
fluid and shit like that.
There's-
That they
there's
end up
fucking-
spraying and like there's all kinds of weird little shit that they do. But being a porn star, I don't think it'd be as much fun as a lot of people think. Like, I wouldn't want to deal with the people. Like, having the super out there co-actor.
Yeah, I would.
I feel like I would just be like, I don't want to touch you, even for a video. I don't want to touch you. Like, no.
I feel like the women that, and I'm gonna get shit, but I feel like most of the women that do like actual porn are probably a little fucked up. and
they are.
Daddy issues.
it's
And
it's
they
not-
have OnlyFans accounts.
but it's not just them because you got them,
Gotta
then
make
you
your
got
money
their
somehow.
fucking and then you got their managers who fucking want to act like pimps. Then you got guys like you and stuff who you just want to get there and do your job and nothing's
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
organized.
And most of them are just hoes, bro. And, to be honest.
And you gotta love those.
Escorts.
I mean, I love the hoes that I know.
I don't
they're
know. I wonder how.
Great people, although they're all about their money.
Right.
Like, literally, I see some of them like on their Instagrams and whatnot. Yeah, they'll plainly say it. You have 5 messages to me.
Sure.
That if you're not sending me money in 5 messages, you're blocked.
Yeah.
Like that's all there is to it. Like they're not trying to waste their time. If they're not about money, they're not about you.
Yeah, the prostitute I fuck in Vegas is like that. She's all about her money. No, dead serious. She's
Get a
like, I
name
don't want to
drop?
talk. No, I can't do that. But yeah, she's all about her business.
This is the one that you took out to dinner.
Oh, at least you're classy about it.
Yeah, I did take her out.
You
to
gotta
dinner.
treat her right a little bit.
Henry's like, what are you doing taking a fucking prostitute out to dinner? I'm like, what?
You pay them to bypass all that shit, man. It's kind of.
Yeah, I took her out. I had comps. I had free comps in the hotel. I mean, didn't cost me anything. It cost the hotel.
I mean, working in nightclubs though, you kind of get the same thing. I can
Yeah.
say from the years that I worked in nightclubs, those are my worst years. I mean, I went into the triple digits from my first year working in a nightclub.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because every single night you can take someone new home.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get shit for saying that, but
It's facts, though.
it is like
true.
every single night. We had a game, me and the DJ, where I would pick the most attractive person in the club, and I'd be like, I'm taking that one home,
I used to do that too.
and we'll just see how it plays out. I had like a 90% turnover on that, where like 90% of the time, the one that I pointed at, I took home that night.
And why do you think that is?
Oh, I had problems. I didn't like being alone.
No, not with you. I'm saying, why do you think that people are
Fuck his
attracted?
question. Let's talk more about that. That's
why-
the good shit.
No, why do you why are people attracted to the sound guy, the lighting tech? You know, the people
They-
behind the scenes.
I don't think it's being attracted to a sound or a lighting tech. I think
it's
they're
like
attracted to, if anything, power. I think because like I was a manager for this club,
Right.
so like they got free drinks. They could come up in the DJ booth and meet the DJ. They could meet artists that they never had a chance to meet. There's like these little things that you can kind of add.
Where can you say where you were a manager at or no?
Liquid
Is it-
Tampa was the
was
nightclub.
that was the old Flynn's.
Oh,
Yeah, Flynn's
okay.
before it was Flynn's.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
I was
so-
in there at least once or twice. Then yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great club. It was.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It had a
Small
really
little place,
fun vibe to it. And
Whatever happened? Why did it fall apart?
I don't think Flynn's ever really expected to stay around. So Flynn's when he
No, I'm
opened.
talking about Liquid.
Oh, Liquid. Oh
I've heard
God.
You would think
location is
You would
prime.
think that location would be the best, but Jr. told me they run through. Something about that spot is hard to keep.
Maybe
in.
the Ritz.
He got destroyed. He got destroyed from within, and there are people that I really hope are not listening to this because I will get eaten alive for this. I'll get banned from the gay community. I won't be gay anymore for saying this. But
Take your gay card.
they
away.
will. They really will. You'd be surprised. But there are people who were on the board of that nightclub who wanted to see it shut down.
Wow.
Where they were brought on because they were around from the original owner when a new owner took over and bought it. And nobody wanted the new owner to be there. And so these people who were on the board and were helping with everything, they wanted the old owner to take back over. And in the contract, it was stated that if he defaulted on payment, the old owner could take it back. And so they were doing everything in their power. They were boycotting it. They worked there, and they were running boycotts against it. They would do things like tell everyone that the owner isn't really gay. Like little things. Say that he just wants to use the gay community. Because people that don't know better, they're like, oh, well, fuck this place. We're never going there again. And that's all it took.
But is there a stigmata of a straight guy owning a gay club?
Yeah, I was just
at the
going to
end of the
ask.
day, it's
Like,
business.
is that
The
really a problem?
stigma would be...
Did I say it wrong? Did I
You said
say-
stigmata,
Yeah,
which is
that's- yeah,
when
I did say it wrong.
Jesus. and
Yeah,
all.
yeah, that's
Wait,
right.
Um,
Well, let's not get him involved in this right now.
Right. The stigma behind it
ask
would be they want to put their money into their community.
Right.
And so like if you have a gay club and your owners are straight, people are going to assume that it's a straight person who is using the gay community to make money.
So if you're a
They
straight
don't see
man,
it as
don't
like
open a gay club.
supporting. They don't see it as supporting a lot of
Hey.
the time. They see it as using.
I ever get a spot in Ybor, you better front that shit for me because you better
That would be-
fucking you
yeah.
better fucking believe, bro. I'll come out there and like the makeup
Ybor
and all, bro.
especially,
I don't
the
give a
gay
fuck.
club.
Oh, we
the
got
gay
You know how
club
much
is
money?
I
You know how
gotta see
much
that.
money you make doing that? I don't give a
a
fuck.
gay club in Ybor is perfect. Liquid.
I think it's oversaturated.
Liquid got attacked.
Really? I mean, how many
You
gay
have-
clubs are in Ybor?
You have
Honey
Southern
Pot,
Knights,
Bradley's, Southern
Bradley's,
Knights.
and Honey Pot.
That's it. Okay,
I mean,
so
Honey
it's not
Pot
that
is the mecca there. Honey Pot basically
Yeah.
destroys everybody else if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
They play nice, and that's great because you want them to do that, but they don't really go after anybody the same way that some of the other ones like to play dirty. They try to keep it as clean as possible. Bradley's has like an older crowd,
Right.
so they really don't interfere, and they just don't butt heads that much.
I don't think I've ever been in either.
My girl Amy DeMilo.
I have photos of the two of you.
Yes. Yes.
You
that is
had
true.
love once upon a time.
We never had sex, unfortunately,
I've heard.
because she's the top, and just doesn't work. I ain't trying to get fucked. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Same way.
I would like to lay the pipe on Amy though. So if you're watching, Amy, come on.
I'll shoot her a message and let her know you're fighting for it again.
You're shooting shots.
No, she's a very nice person. I love
Extremely.
Amy. I've known her since the Valentine's.
Oh God,
Do you remember Valentine's?
it was gone before I was around, but
But you've
I've
heard
seen
stories?
photos and heard the stories.
Yeah, Valentine's was a shit.
Were you around for Studio 26?
I was not.
No,
I was around for
they had
the
a dark room. Do you know
I
what
was
that
around
is?
for. No, I do. I don't.
You don't? Oh,
No.
that's a fun concept.
Yeah.
Dark room is an all black room with almost no lighting in it. Maybe a soft blue. That basically people just go into, strip down, and do whatever they want. They can't see the person they're touching. The person they're touching can't see them.
Sounds
They
like
just-
Wait, where's this?
It used to be in Studio 26. I remember kicking down that wall
Is
when
this
we tore it down. But
Oh,
It sounds like the bathhouse.
it's like a bathhouse. They call it a dark room, and some of them still exist
Yeah.
in some of the older venues. But you just went in there and you did whatever you wanted, and nobody knew who anybody was.
So when you said
wait, hold
Valentine's
on.
was
So you don't
before
get
your
to
time,
see you don't get to see the face of the person.
You don't see who. It's pitch black. You walk in a room and you kind of just feel your way around.
Oh, that's weird.
I would do it, but
Right, pretty much.
Harry
That's-
Butt.
I mean,
Hopefully, minus the hair.
that's the thing. I would have to go in there and be like, there is a woman in this room. right?
Yeah, there has to be.
No,
You got to remember, this is in a gay club, so
Oh,
they all
okay,
knew
well
what they're
then-
getting into.
Oh,
never mind.
No one's
yeah.
expecting to. If you found a vagina in there,
We need a
you
regular
have everybody
club.
running
Can
out.
we get a regular club like that?
Ew, vagina.
Pretty
Now,
much.
when you said Valentine's was before your time, is it an age thing, or you're not from here?
No, it was an age thing.
Okay.
So Valentine's closed before I was of age to
go out.
Go out.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
25.
Oh yeah. Whoa, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's a couple years before. me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first club, I think my first club ever was Liquid. I walked in there, they were having an issue with their audio system. Like, the music was quieter than us talking.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the dancers who had moved into my house and was one of my new roommates at the time, back during a very interesting time, one of the dancers introduced me to the GM and was like, hey, your audio's not working, that's what this guy does for a living, he can fix it for you. And the GM, CJ, who I love dearly, at the time, who had no idea who I was, is like, I don't know this guy, I don't want him in my booth,
Right.
why are you even bringing him up to me, go away.
Now, I
And
remember
I
when
just-
that club was owned by Retner. Now, when did he get out of that club? Joe Retner? You don't know who that is? The
he
Tampa Mecca,
Oh, yeah. He
like
was- he
strip
was
club guy.
He was part of it.
When it was a strip club.
Yes.
I remember that. That was
Me and him have issues.
early 2000s.
He stole about 30 grand from me.
Oh,
Joe Retner, the
Yeah.
owner? He
Yeah.
owns like half the strip clubs in Tampa.
I know.
Man,
He owns a lot of the.
listen.
He's the most liquor licenses of
Yeah.
anybody in the
And
state of Florida.
allegedly mobbed up.
What's his name?
Joe Retner. I think his son runs shit now more than he does. Because I think he had like cancer. Or he was trying to do the cannabis thing. Are we talking about the same person?
Has the most liquor licenses of. He owns like
Right.
all the strip clubs in Florida.
Yeah,
for
pretty
the most
much,
Part. Yeah,
yeah.
that's him.
Yeah.
I put in about 30, 40 grand worth of gear into a nightclub, and they defaulted on their payment of rent.
Which
Nobody
nightclub?
called me and told me.
Which one?
This was Studio 26 back in the day.
Okay.
Nobody called me or told me anything. They were on a rental plan. They hadn't even opened.
Yeah, he owns 2001. He owns 2001. I think he owns the one across the street.
Mons Venus.
Mons Venus.
Dang, he's
Wait,
probably-
really? Wait, I do work with 2001. I didn't even know it's the same owner.
his house
Joe
is
Redner.
crazy.
I didn't know it was the same owner. I wouldn't have done work with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically, all the gear I had in there, all the lighting, all the audio, everything, he basically just took it.
Yeah.
And when I called him, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, gear.
But was it?
And I
is
went
it,
in
is
there
it
the next day,
is
and
it
he
the
had moved
son?
all of it out. He took everything.
Oh, hell
Is it
no.
the son or is it the old man?
It was an older man, and he was dating a young girl who was going to like law school. And I remember her picking up the phone and fucking reciting some legal jargon at me
Right.
and being like, "Don't ever call here again," and hanging up on me. And I was
Yeah.
like, "This fucking cunt."
Yeah, Joe Redner.
I don't know if I can say that, but
yeah,
you
you
can totally
but
say that.
he
Joe
literally
Redner's
just took
extremely
everything
old.
from me.
And-
I had nothing after
So there's
that.
nothing you could do about
I
that.
think his son's
No, there
like
was
my
nothing.
age. I think
Because
it's-
he had moved all of it like from the bat. He moved it all out, and he has so many other nightclubs. I have no idea where
Yeah,
it
but
went.
still, you got to be able to. There's got to be a lawyer.
You have to be able
can
to
talk
prove that he took it, you know? And,
Yeah,
and
but
I was
they-
18 at the time. I didn't know.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know what to
Because
do.
I would have been like, "Shit, I left it here. You guys are
Did he wear
responsible for
glasses?
whatever I left it here,
I never met
especially
him.
if I didn't get
Oh, you
paid."
never
Yeah.
met
We
him?
only spoke on the phone. We never
Ah.
met, and then he just sicked his girlfriend on me
We don't have to see this guy.
to not, you know,
You don't know who Joe Redner
to,
is?
to stop
No, but
talking
we-
to me so that I couldn't fight them, and
Dude,
I didn't
that-
know better.
Yeah.
So I just gave up.
We should
I
send
mean,
up Poets
30
Collection
grand
Agency.
in equipment.
Yeah.
Just tell 'em, that's-
No, you ain't.
now
saying
I
the
know better.
collection
Now I
agency
know
with
to
this
actually
guy.
put a mechanic's lien on their
Allegedly,
building, and I'll know he'll never sell that bitch
he's
until I'm
mobbed up.
paid.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
So now,
You know they. You know that
well,
book.
the same
Cigar
way, like
City
if
Mafia?
you get a lawn done,
He's in that
okay,
book.
when they deliver the sod, they're putting a lien on you because if you don't pay them, they don't come take it back. You know, it's sod. They have nothing they can do about that. So if you don't pay them, there's a lien on your house so that you can't ever sell it.
I have to pee so bad.
If you don't plan to sell it, you're fine. But once they put a lien on you,
Oh,
you
so
can't
they
sell
sold it before.
You're not going to get a new mortgage on it. The banks are basically going to halt you from making any move on that property until your debt is paid.
Right.
And if someone else ever sues you or sues that person and you have a lien on it, you become automatically part of the litigation, and your money that is owed will get added into that lawsuit.
Yeah, I know how a lien works. I just didn't know. I mean,
Now
if
we
you-
file
but
them
if
for
you-
pretty much all clients.
But if you drop it
anything
off
under
at
50
the,
grand.
but if you drop it off at the place, at the venue, and I'm sure someone signs when you drop off, right?
Right.
Yeah, they have
So
to.
how can you not just be like, okay, well, I'm
The
gonna call
contract
cops
was with a
then.
guy who ran. He left the state.
Oh, okay.
Just disappeared on everybody.
Oh.
This guy
So they
was
can't.
scum.
So what it is essentially, they're like, well, we don't know where it went. They could have
Right.
moved everything.
They said
and just said
they
he took
said
it.
he took it.
Yeah, he took it. And he
But
said
I
they
know
took it.
damn well because I knew when he left.
Yeah.
I found out when he left, and it was still there after he had left. And so I knew they took it. And they even said they had it at first. Like the first 4 or 5 times we talked, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll meet you one of these days to come get your gear."
Wow.
And then all of a sudden I called and they go, "What gear?" I was like, "What do
See,
you mean?"
now I would've
We
went over
talked
there
4 or
that
5
day.
times, and they were like, "We don't know what you're talking about. Don't ever call us again." And then that was it.
Damn.
They just fucked me, and I just was like, "Okay, I guess this is how the world works."
Oh man, I wouldn't. Man,
Yeah, now I know a lot better, but back then, you know, I was young, I didn't know anything about it, and I trusted the guy that I was renting it to,
yeah.
and that was my big mistake.
I mean, that's one of the things as a business owner, you know,
Yeah.
people don't really talk about it. You got to protect yourself, man.
Yeah,
You know? And-
Hey, you learned a lesson. That's for sure.
that's for damn sure.
Fuck. I mean,
That's a big lesson to learn, though. You know, then you have no gear. How do you
Yeah.
a rental company
can't
that
rent
has
anything
not
now.
one piece of gear? You know, everything was in that
did
building.
you have insurance or anything like that? Or
I was still new.
That's a.
I still was in my first or second version of the company, back when it was like Weiss Enterprises,
Right.
something like that. And yeah, I didn't really have any recourse that I was aware of. You know, I didn't have a lawyer on retainer
Yeah.
like we do now. You
Well,
know,
your excuse me, your partner that you have in the company, is he in tech as well or no?
no, he handles like all the office stuff. He handles all like the back stuff, the banking, the finance. he's owned like 6 or 7 other companies, like multi-million-dollar companies. So he was just the best person that I could bring in to help me with the things that I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say I know everything about a company, and there's things business-wise that the government requires and paperwork you file every year to keep your company running that I'm not familiar with the way that he is. And so he definitely is the perfect person to have in.
And that's
Where we
the
at?
thing,
What did I
people-
miss?
You need to have a company that's making money to you know, it's. I think it was Steve Jobs that said, he's like, I'm never the smartest person in the room, but I surround myself with people who are.
Right.
And that's the same idea in any business. Like, there's a lot of stuff with all kinds of aspects of my job that I'm not really great at. Before that, I have him. You know, I have Julie. I can go to her if I need to, or Allie if I need to, or whoever it is. But there's no one I don't believe that there's any one person who knows every aspect of their company, because I can
Right.
straight up tell you there's parts of my company I don't even understand. Like, I have an accountant who I pay her very well, and she handles
My
all my
accountant?
shit. Yeah.
Magical.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, like, I started using an account when I was 18, and, like, I couldn't tell you the first thing about taxes, but I know she handles mine every year.
Right.
So, that's all I need.
I use Diana out in Vegas. Big shout out to Diana.
You
Thank you.
outsource your accounting to another state.
Well, yeah, my other accountant, Jonathan, he moved to Colorado, and Jonathan doesn't do him anymore for me, so I have Diana, who lives out in Vegas, and she's amazing.
Do they have to be licensed in this state to file under this state, or is an accountant
No.
okay anywhere?
Anywhere, yeah.
I know, like lawyers, you know, they have to be able to pass the bar in that state to be able to do work in that state.
Right.
No, she can do it, whatever. Yeah.
Learn new things every day.
That's crazy, man. You know, my boy Todd actually manages 2001. Do you know Todd?
Todd and I have met. Yes,
I've known Todd
he's a good guy.
24 years. I remember when Todd was a bartender at Full Moon Saloon in Ybor City. Do you know what Full Moon Saloon is?
I don't. That's,
Okay, you know where Tequila's is at?
Yeah,
They used to be Full Moon Saloon, a nightclub.
gotcha.
And I was a resident DJ there in 1999.
You were a resident DJ.
Right, yeah. I'm drinking, but yeah. So that tells you my age. I'm old.
Well, it's I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Man, I smoke too much weed. I really gotta. I gotta. calm down.
When did this happen? I must have missed that. Was
Yeah,
there a break?
Well,
Was there a smoking break
weed
that we missed.
He's the drug addict. I'm the alcoholic.
And I'm the drug addict. And
Nobody can
alcoholic.
talk tonight.
I can't even
'cause I've been
talk.
stumbling my words all
The
fucking
White
night.
Claw.
I think it's hilarious.
Stigma.
I had notes before the show, like things you do or you don't talk about, and you being sober was one of my notes. Is that you will stay sober, and so it was just hilarious to me that like the first thing we talk about is this alcohol run, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting here like, wait,
Well, we changed the rules
How
on
did
that.
this-
I tried. I think I made it like 3 episodes. And
No, but you have to give me credit. I have decreased my drinking.
Yeah, a lot.
very much
The
so.
first episode is classic.
Dude, my first episode. Yeah, the first
There's
episode,
just
I'm just like slurring my fucking words. I don't even remember being here. I'm like hunched down in the fucking seat and shit.
that sounds
That's
like a
fucking great.
handful of the artists that we had
Yeah.
at Shepherds.
No, I was exactly like that.
That's
Yeah.
how you know you
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah.
We had one who's really well known EDM artist. I mean, he's like one of the original EDM artists, one of the first, and he was actually the twat that I asked him who he was, and he was like, "You don't know who I am," and got all mad
I
at
hate
me.
that shit.
But then he proceeded to get so drunk that he sat on the stage monitor speakers, just kind of like swaying back and forth for a while after he was done. Like
Right.
he could go sit in VIP, go do whatever he wants. He's got a bottle of like 19 something tequila, and he's just sitting there drinking from the bottle, just getting obliterated until finally like 2 people came up and like
Help
picked him up and
Yeah.
walked him off stage.
His little handlers or whatever.
They carried him to his room. It was,
So we only have a few minutes left of the show. Justin, anything you want to plug? You want to give out the website again? You want to give out your number? Anything at all? Because we might have some new listeners that
Right.
didn't tune in earlier on. So if you want to give out your website address, all your social media, how to get a hold of you.
Instagram is Perfect Events Tech, TECH. Instagram for me would be Justin Does Your Tech. Our website is perfectevents.tech. I don't know if you can see a little bit of a pattern following here.
Do you have a phone number, business phone number?
I do, and to tell you the truth, it's so new. It's not something that
Yeah, okay.
I have it on a business card, I'm sure, but honestly, I don't have those.
It's
Those are
cool.
in the card.
What's the best way to reach you? Probably through the website?
Probably my cell, to be honest, and that's
Do you want to give that out?
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So 727-678-7023.
And do
And
it
I'm
one
pretty
more
much
time.
I'm
What was that
always
again?
awake.
727?
727-678-7023.
So if you're throwing any type of event at all, sound, lighting, anything but the artist,
Mm-hmm.
this is the man.
Some of them we
you
can
need
even
to
help
talk
with
to.
that.
There you go.
I mean, we have tons of DJs and performers and stuff that we've worked with in the past that we still have contact with, and we'll call in once in a while to bring them in.
Now let me throw this out here. Do you do CDJ rentals?
Yes.
And can you talk about the price on that? Because I currently use a company. I'm pretty loyal to them, but I want to.
You're never going to move from him, so I already know better than to even try that one.
Yeah.
And I only bought them for the customers that don't like. I don't try to step on anyone's toes.
Right.
CDJs was one of the last things that I bought,
Mhm.
and I waited so long to buy them because every person that calls himself a DJ that had any amount of money
Yeah.
has a set.
And I love that guy, by the way.
Right,
He's
and we
he's
all
an
do.
amazing guy.
Yes.
So you kind of.
I know exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You guys used to work together.
Yes, for years. Very, very good guy. Our pricing is the same for the most
same,
part.
yeah.
I actually might be a little bit more than him.
Good answer.
Whereas as
Good
a lot
answer.
of people, no, I'm just being honest. Like I price myself based on where I am. I price myself based on our level and our thing of the company. I don't rent often to fly by night one at a time kind of things
Sure.
where like a single event. There's
He's-
not that many times that like someone calls me just for CDJs.
Right.
So my
He's
price
hurting
is
right now
probably a
too.
little more.
I was just
Sure.
talking to him the other day.
A lot of
Definitely,
it's sound
he's
rental.
shut down. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're just
there's
you're just
nothing
at a
going on.
standstill.
Yep.
And he has good gear.
Yeah.
It's
Great gear.
unfortunate.
Great gear. Great
Well,
sound.
we got 4 minutes, so why don't we go around the table and everyone say when they think this whole thing is going to be over and concerts will return. I personally have heard it's October, and I don't think that's too far off.
September 2021. That's what I was told.
For
Festivals.
concerts, big concerts.
For
Like the
festivals?
big festivals, and the concerts will return. They're
Sure.
talking about it being that far out.
So there's no Gasparilla Music Festival next year.
I agree with Justin on that. With big concerts, I believe that the governor is going to roll out something for the bars in about 2 weeks. But I think it's going to be 25 to 50% capacity. He's going to do the same thing like he did with the restaurants.
I feel like it's going to be, call it 50% capacity for months.
Yeah, but
I
one
feel
thing
like
about our
that's-
governor, I don't know if we don't talk politics on here, but one thing about him is he's a super Christian and he hates alcohol.
Oh,
He's also pro-Trump.
yeah.
So,
He is like the cocksucker of Trump.
yeah.
He
Trump
really is.
doesn't drink
Anything that
alcohol
Trump
either.
says he follows, and that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
of,
but all the same, he fought against the federal push during spring break. So he was keeping
That's
Florida
for
open.
fucking money.
Fucking
I mean-
right, that's for money, but that's his job. Part of his job is, we're getting political, but yeah, I don't hate the guy for how he's handling it.
I just
my
hope he
opinion,
would roll out the bars because
I don't see why they can't be open.
I mean, no
Well, think about
offense,
that.
because
No one just wants to take the first
let's
step.
you know we
There's a
talked about
huge
this a
issue,
little
though.
bit last week, and we'll close on this. If I had a restaurant / bar and I sold more alcohol than I did food, would I open up? Of course I would. But I say
but
to the-
how?
because
So,
nobody's checking on it.
The
You know what I mean?
The ones that
No
are
coordin-
opening, they're not social distancing
Right.
at all.
Yeah,
And
nobody
so
is.
they're taking big risks.
Yeah,
I know a
absolutely.
lot of nightclubs that even ones that serve food and can open,
Right.
that are not reopening
Correct,
right now
'cause they're by the
they-
law.
Right?
Yeah.
They know better.
They know what's up.
And there are some clubs that are lying to reopen.
Yeah,
that
of
are
course.
they're actually taking their liquor sales, listing it under
Yeah.
food sales to make
Yeah.
it look like they sell more food than they do.
But let's say, I mean, if you had that, would you reopen? if you
It's such
if
a
you,
hard
if
question
you had
because
to
if
if
my
you had to
whole
pay the
life
bills,
is depending on it, and
Yeah.
that's how I make my money, I'm gonna want to. But at the same time, I don't know that I'd be able to take the risk of
Sure.
of that kind of lawsuit or something.
Yeah, because
if-
all they got to say is, "Oh, I got it at your place," and now you're shut down.
I
Forever.
think
right, and you don't come back from that.
Yeah, no.
Henry, what would you do? Would you reopen
Right now?
if you had a food license, but you sell more alcohol than you do food? Would you reopen as a business owner if your mortgage depended on it, your car payment, food in your mouth?
Yeah.
Well, they're extending most of that. So
I
like
would agree.
our building payment, my car because I got a newer car, all that kind of stuff. They extended, I think it was extended till June. Was they gave us like 3 months on it of they just moved the payments to the end.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
did with my mortgage.
So there's a lot of people that that helped them with their mortgages and everything, so they didn't have to worry about it.
But I would definitely reopen. But all the same, I feel for people like Julie and any bar owner who's sitting here looking at the situation. Like, dude, I can't operate at 50%
No.
I can't, like, the federal government's not going to have a choice. Like, everyone's freaking out because they're like, oh, no one's done anything for bars and venues. They're not going to have a choice at this point. You can't just leave this many bars. Because if you lose the bars, you're losing barbacks, you're losing bartenders, they're all unemployed.
Yeah, your staff is fucked.
Once all the shit, like, stops and blows over, man, no one knows how this is going to look. I think it'll bounce back quicker than 2009, but no one knows.
All right. Well,
But Sergio, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No,
I don't even
not
know what
really.
2009 was. Even 2009, that was before me.
Yeah.
That was the housing market.
Oh,
The
okay.
crash,
Housing
2008.
2008, 2009.
Yeah, I was 18 in 2013, so
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention to the housing market crash or anything like that.
And if you were, man,
I bought my first house in 2009. That was the best fucking year I could have ever done that. I got
Well-
my place so goddamn cheap.
Henry Panic,
beautiful.
always a pleasure. Sergio, we love you.
Justin, thank you for coming on, man.
Justin
This was
with
an awesome
Perfect
show, man.
Events.
Thank you.
.tech. Check them out. And we out. Till next week.
boom. Want to play a song?
Boom.
Close it out. Close it out
Fuck
with a
it.
song?
We close it out with silence.
All right, bet. Closing it out with silence.
No more Be Prepared?